Go. Hello. Tim Bart's here. McArthur Ford with
Sarah Davis.
matching vests. We'll go ahead and throw this out there right now. So we do have matching vests. So this was a birthday gift from my wife and
Oh.
for you two. And so she thought Sarah needed one of these too. Let's see. Make sure our mic's good and you guys can hear me okay. So what's special about
go.
these vests is that
You can't see mine. There it is.
they are heated. So I don't know why, but in the showroom, maybe people walk around a lot, and I'm right under a vent. I've told you guys before, but we like to freeze our butt off. We usually put a vest on. These are kind of nice.
Yes.
The batteries on them don't last a full day, but
Yep.
of course, when you work as long as I do sometimes, it's probably not surprising. But anyway, so that's what we have them on. My actually battery's dead, but it's warm enough.
Mine is on.
Yours is
Because
on.
I haven't more
Yours is
power
lit up.
banks. I've used 3 power banks for it today. That's how fast they go through power banks.
Anyway, and we'll probably wear them during the summer because they turn the AC on, go 65 degrees. Anyway, I guess I'm not used to that. So that's why we're wearing matching vests, so you guys know that. Just want to kind of point out right now that we are recording this as well to upload to our podcast for this evening. So you can upload that, watch that. Of course, there's several different places you can find our podcast. 15 different platforms out there. By the way, Apple Podcast is not one. Had that set up this week. Came to the realization that it's not showing because I don't have an Apple product, so I didn't know. So anyway, it is not on Apple Podcasts, and you know what? At this point, I don't really care. Sorry. There's several different great platforms out there. You can find it on Spotify, iHeart, a lot of them that are free. I know I have Spotify downloaded app. I don't have an account, and I can save all the different shows. So try Spotify if you want, or it is on Podbean. That is free as well. You can find that even on our YouTube, on our McArthur website. As well, if you want to find it there under the About Us, or anyway, one of those tabs up there.
I have talked to
There's a
some of
special
the
one,
other
so-
iPhone users, and they said that they can find it on the other platforms when they download the apps. So
So there you go.
if you
So-
can download one of those other apps,
Yeah.
you're good to go.
Now, and if you are listening to this on the podcast, don't forget to come over if you want to watch the YouTube live. We do have a couple clips of some images of some Rangers today that you may want to watch and just to see that. But there you go. And of course, if you want to see our lovely faces as well. So check that out. Also, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. You can be notified when we have another video uploaded. And don't forget, hopefully you guys have already done it already, but hit that like button. Not sure how many likes we have so far. 29 likes. And there's 153 of you in here. So come on, smash the like button. You just have to close the chat just briefly if you're on a mobile phone to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it, and it helps it out. All right. And let's talk about membership.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that, Sarah.
So if you would like to become a member, it is right there by that subscribe button. You click join, and it's going to tell you about some of the little offers that we have in there. It's $5 a month or $4.99, and if you are an iPhone user, you have to do things a little bit differently. So you're going to have to go into your web browser and then go up to the, what is that, web address?
Yep.
There we go. I finally found the right word. It's been several weeks, but the web address, and you're going to see a little A and a big A. Click on that and request desktop browser. From there, you can see it.
There you go.
Again, another Apple product.
Yeah, there you go. Little hoops you got to jump through if you have an Apple product, but that's all right. We love you anyway. Anyway, also, don't forget, of course, there's some great perks in there. Why don't you tell us what members we have in the live stream tonight?
We got Revet, Roy Pass, hello from Florida Panhandle. Mike Mahaffey says hello. Ridgeview, Sarah Davis, and Law McArthur. Gene Hanks says, does anyone think eruption green would be a good Maverick color? I think it would.
Yeah.
Michael Montgomery, hello everyone. Let's see. Mike Mahaffey, member for 14 months, and you get to send free milestone chats as a member. Yes, that is a member perk.
There you go. Yep. Okay.
You also get free super chats, I believe. So you don't have to pay to do one of those, the super chats.
You can still do a chat as a member, and they pop up. Stacy did say bashing Apple. Ouch.
Yeah.
You know what? It's a great product,
Yeah.
just not for
I'm
me.
getting compliments on my hair. Thank you.
We got James, we got Joey Franco, a lot of good
Rolls
members.
44.
Marine Vet, a lot of people have orders with us. So,
I'm seeing a lot of people
So-
mentioning the spray and bed liner.
yep, we did that video, went live. We'll talk about that in some other videos that we have going live here in just a second. Actually, let's talk about it now. Recent videos we had this week, we've been pretty busy. So, finished out the Expedition Complete Guide videos, and I call them Complete Guide because we cover all the the equipment on them. So we finished out the King Ranch, Timberline, and the Platinum videos. Links to all those are in the description if you want to check them out, or just go to our YouTube channel and you can find them there. We create playlists for each one of the different models, by the way. So there is a 2023 Expedition playlist with all those plus the changes in one spot. Also, then tonight we had the McArthur spray and bed liner video that we did. So we did a little introduction to it of what's going to happen, and then a time lapsed for him. Gary does a great job of spraying bed liner. He's been doing it for about 10 years with us now. So he's very experienced at it. And so a couple things that we do differently. And it was for the Ford Maverick. It was Jolie's Ford Maverick that he did that. Not only that, he did do that, but he also installed the bed cover for us on that one. So it's it is a soft roll-up bed cover. So we, speaking of that, Sarah did a short on that, as well as shorts on a bunch of other things this week. We've been doing them once a week, Thursday. We noticed after Thursday that a lot of people are viewing those and liking those, so we started doing more. We did one Friday, we did one yesterday, right?
We did one Thursday, Friday, and yesterday.
So we did the Maverick Tonneau with the crossbars one day. We did the Maverick with the soft roll-up cover on Friday.
And then yesterday we did the missing...
The F-150 with the missing lock on for the spare tire. So if you had a chance, links to those also are in the description if you want to check them out, or go to shorts. We have a tab for shorts on our YouTube channel as well. And so for those that don't know, the F-150 spare tire in 23 is missing the lock for it.
Yes.
So I assume it's just...
Now, it's not all of them.
Well, all of ours. I checked 10 today.
All of ours?
I checked like 10 of mine today.
We did get that one comment from that gentleman that said that he saw them. He commented back and said that he is a detailer for a Ford dealership, and all of their 23s have them.
But he did say he's only had a handful show up.
Yes.
So I got a feeling that either they ran out at the beginning or they ran out recently, one or the other. And so some of them may not have that. So, which brings me up to other future videos we're going to do. We do have a Mustang LMP 750, the different packages that we do. Sarah will edit that tomorrow. So that'll probably go live tomorrow. Also, I'm going to record probably tomorrow. Not going to tell you what time, Stacy. For your Bronco Sport Heritage Edition walk around. Stacy's letting us do a walk around on hers. She'd been joking that she's going to try to start it while I'm doing a video, but I'm not telling you when we're going to do it. And you can only start it twice before it doesn't start again. So anyway, and then we're going to do the F-150 Heritage Edition, which we're going to do a short on that one this week too. So you got to check that out, because something you probably didn't know about those Heritage Edition F-150s. When it comes to how they paint those. So kind of funny video. And then also we're going to have the special edition F-150 video. So we're going to get some aftermarket videos that we do. Probably next week you can get the F-150 or the Mustang, the 450R Roush Mustangs, what goes on with those, what they're missing that we include, that kind of thing. So got a lot of projects. Plus next week we'll be in Chicago. So we're going to be going to Chicago Auto Show next week. I have the live stream still Tuesday night. Next week we'll not do a Facebook Live. We will this Thursday. Next Thursday we will not. We'll probably do a Facebook Live Thursday at some point.
Yes, but not at the exact time.
But not planned at that time. And then
at that time we're going to do member meetup, right?
Yeah, we are going to try to do a member meetup. So what we need you to do, if you're in the Chicago area Thursday night and or can come over and meet up with us, email Sarah at the email address below. Right there.
Mine. Here.
Hers.
There we go.
FordVideoGuy@gmail.com. If you can meet up, put in the subject line meet up, and let us know who all wants to be there. We're going to need to get some
numbers together.
Figure numbers, how many people are going to be there, so that we can kind of plan ahead and see if we need to get a spot, if we could just meet at a restaurant or somewhere like that. But we are staying really close to the auto show. So we should be close enough there. So we're going to do something close in that neck of the woods. So anyway, so plan for that. What else we got going on? Facebook Live this week. Also, of course, don't forget about all the channels we support. They're in the description below. All Train Nation, as well as Johnny's Car Can Reviews. And you know, last week I got a chance. I told you guys about the Bronco Nation live stream they're going to do with the brand manager. That was a great live stream. If you didn't get a chance to watch that, you know, the video is in the description as well for that. And you need to check out Bronco Nation. If you have a Bronco on order, or if you have, you know, a Bronco yourself, hopefully you're a member of the Bronco Nation. They did a really good job on that video, so check that out. If not, they do have a great YouTube channel, and it seems like they're doing a weekly live. And they actually do watch our YouTube channel. I didn't realize that they did. They do, and so they might be watching now. So thank you for watching our channel if you do. We really appreciate the support, and so we're here to kind of help out everybody. This week, what?
Q&A box.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start that.
Let's start the Q&A box. And again, don't forget, drop that question in there once. It does it'll disappear on you, so you won't know whether or not your question is there, but it is in there, so just drop it in there once. We'll get to the Q&A towards the end and such, but we'll start that box going now so we can have those questions loaded for that. But we'll jump into some other stuff first, and starting with the good dealer moment. So I hadn't had one emailed to me, so I wanted to point out one that I know of from watching All Train Nation, actually. So All Train Nation has a new co-host on there now. All Train Nation is a couple journalists from, I think they're from Tennessee, close to Nashville, I think, and they have become real good friends with Ali Dubois. I think I said that right. By the way, I think we decided Sarah needs to work on learning during French. She took several years of French, and I need to work on Spanish because we did learn to say Hermosillo. Wait, did I say it right?
Hermosillo.
Hermosillo. This week. Thank you, Blanca. So it's anyway, two L's, yo, yo baby yo, she told me. Anyway, so Allie there, getting back on track. Allie is from Brighton Ford in Brighton, Michigan. That's real close to where the factories are up there in Michigan, and she is a Bronco specialist. Well, she's a salesperson. She can sell about anything. She kind of focuses in, it sounds like to me, she gets a lot of Bronco customers, F-150 customers, and seems like she knows her stuff. So she's been on their live stream as a co-host for a while, and I really haven't started following them until about a couple months ago. And she knows her stuff. She's on top of things when it comes to Bronco and such. So if you're in the Michigan area looking for a good dealer, especially in a Bronco or any Ford vehicle really, then check them out. So it sounds like to me that they know how to do, they know all about the price protection, everything else like that. And she is a good salesperson and is passionate about the Ford products so much that she has an Instagram page and even a YouTube channel. She started doing videos that she has on there, and she's even a Friends in Ford like myself. So even Ford has recognized her social media presence and the time she spends on it. So she spends extra time on that, and even has started the Bronco Club there in Michigan. So there you go. So I'm not sure Allie probably doesn't watch the YouTube channel, but you might check out All Train Nation, give her a shout out, said, you know, maybe throw in there next week if you're on the live stream that, hey, FordVideoGuy said that you're a top salesperson I need to follow up with and check with if I'm in the Michigan area. So thank you for that. So so good job. Also, let's get into scheduling notes and information. So we've got a couple highlights to it this week. So this week we're going to talk about what's scheduling for this week, which is still January's allocations. So if you have a dealership that has allocations still from January, they can get scheduled this week. So All Train Nation became a member.
Are here.
Thank you. And I don't know if they're a new member or they're returning. I can't remember. But thank you very much. So they're in the house though. And so we're going to talk about what's scheduled this week, and if you have allocations, kind of go through if we have any allocations on the different models. But also, we will also talk about February's allocations and what some of that information. We did have the February, what they call wholesale cast for our region was last Wednesday. So we'll go ahead and we're going to talk about some of the different things of what months and weeks that they're looking to schedule for February's allocations, which should start next week, I would think, because it will be the 9th by then. So next week we should start seeing allocations, February's allocations being used. So, and I don't have those numbers on any of ours, so don't ask. So, all right, first starting off with the 23 Mustang. No scheduling this week for the 23 Mustang, and they are not scheduling at all next month. So they're pretty much almost closed out of 23 production. So I assume 24 order banks are going to be open up soon. We hope. They didn't mention anything to us about 24 Mustang at all. But hopefully, maybe Ford will release something at the in Chicago. I don't know. So,
Dan Foster, one of our members, says, after asking you Tuesday about Lariat or Lux package becoming constrained, I received a scheduled email Thursday. Thank you for all the advice and info.
there you go.
Glad
All right.
to help.
23 Escape is scheduling this week for dates through March 27th. We do have 4 allocations, 3 gas hybrid and 1 plug-in to be used. It does have a note here, base and hybrid orders are retail only, and plug-in hybrid is retail order banks shut off on 1/30. So order banks, we mentioned that last week, order banks are closing off. Actually, that would be yesterday. So last day of the month. If you hear a lot of things going on, we still have finance here closing up their deals and everything. So it ends up being a late night on the last day of the month. 23 Bronco. Oh, and then next month they are going to be scheduling for April production dates, and they mentioned that 22 model year carryover allocations are going to be used next month. So they said they're going to start doing is for those that had carryover units and orders, that they're going to try to prioritize them for certain months. So this month it's going to be carryover for Escape, and I think next month they're saying it's going to be for like I know at least the Super Duty. So we'll start seeing hopefully some of those, because we do have carryover allocations we did not receive yet on Maverick that we earned, and they used this year's allocations instead of giving us more allocations for those. So on those canceled orders. Bronco Sport 23, they are doing cleanup scheduling. We don't have any allocations ourselves. It says stock and retail orders will commit for 2/2 within constraints. Trailer tow and cargo management full through 4/17. Talked about that last week. Badlands and Heritage Unlimited orders will not be scheduled due to front camera constraints. And next month is they're going to be going they're going 1 month ahead, May production. So in February they're going to be scheduling for May production. That's how far in advance that they are, or far ahead they are. 23 Edge, no scheduling this week. So 4 of our allocations will move over to next month. And guess what? They're not wholesaling next month at all as well. So they're not going to schedule an Edge next month either. So don't think there's really a lot of retail orders in the order banks on the Edge. But there you go. You can take a break if you do have an order for the next 5 weeks. So 23 Bronco, scheduling through March 27th. Kind of funny. And they are not going to be scheduling for Raptor, Heritage, Everglades, Base, manual transmission, or the Badlands with the optional wheel. So they're not going to schedule for those ones. But that does leave Big Bend, Outer Banks, Badlands, Black Diamond, skipped over that one, and Wild Track could schedule. So keep your faith, keep going on there. We have 10 allocations ourselves, 19 leftover orders. So we're really looking forward to seeing what happens this week with Bronco. We really hope that we use all 10 of those for our 19 orders there, and we can cut it in half and be down to under 10. That's kind of the goal. So hope that happens. Next month will be April production dates that they're going to be scheduling for in the month of February. So when we say, hopefully you guys understand that when we're talking about scheduling, they schedule for future dates. So when we talk about the scheduling for these dates, like next month, February's allocations will go towards April production dates that they're going to schedule for. So, all right. Also, a note on Bronco. Don't forget that by March 7th, dealers need to go into COVP to report unscheduled orders intention. So, if you don't have a scheduled Bronco, it hasn't been scheduled, you have to go into the COVP for their order, and then you have to show them. If you need instructions on how to do that for you dealers out there, contact me. I actually have the PDF on that. Your dealer should have it as well. It did come in to your dealership, to somebody at the dealership, but you do have to have that intention by the 7th. So keep that in mind. We're waiting on ours until probably the end of February to see, because if we have all of ours scheduled, we don't have to go in and put that intention in there. So that intention would be like, okay, are you going to cancel the order completely? Or are you going to cancel and take another one? Or are you going to take one that's in stock? Or are you going to make changes? So you have to note those different things for them. So, and that's where, by noting that, is how you get your private offer. So you want to make sure your dealership does that for you. So not to cause more stress there for everybody. 23 Explorer, They're not scheduling this week. We don't have any allocations, which is good. So no scheduling then. Explorer next month, they're going to be scheduling for April production dates. Base and XLT, less the Sport Appearance package, will require the rear auxiliary control removal. So we'll talk more about that in a little bit. And also new ST line and Timberline discount packages. So they're going to have a $5 discount package off MSRP to the Timberline with the technology package, and $750 off MSRP to the ST line with the 4-wheel drive and with the 21-inch alloy wheel option. So there's a discount package for those. Probably want to get some of those because of parts or something. So they were trying to give an incentive for you to choose those as well. 23 Expedition, they are doing scheduling this week for February and March cleanup scheduling. So again, trying to fill those holes there for orders they can. Keep in mind to add the heavy duty trailer tow package to your 303As and your 400As to allow for scheduling. Again, standard wheel for the Platinum 600A is not available. Select the 22-inch polished wheel if you want scheduled. Dual exhaust system, not available right now, and that's going to be dual exhaust is standard on the limited. I think it's the 303A, so it's that stealth package. And Timberline also comes standard, so you probably won't see Timberline scheduled either. Extended length is not available, and we'll talk about that in there in a second. Mahogany seats not available. 202A and 301A not available. So what is available? I don't know. 200A XLT. Anyway, not much available. So for next month, April production, for all your February allocations, all orders will have to be short wheelbase. So also it said stop build on 302A, 303A, 304A, 400A, and 501A with the trailer tow prep package. That means all those need to be, you have to put in the heavy duty trailer tow package. So, and then also that's all in effect until late April. So again, you need the heavy duty trailer tow package through next month's allocations, as well as no extended length next month. So if you don't want extended length on your Expedition. 23 Maverick is scheduling this week through dates of March 27th. Probably filling in holes for March production. Something to note, trailer tow hitch is key constraint, splash guards, trifold bed cover, the load box bed liner, and they're only scheduled, I don't know why they only scheduled retail orders. Of course, that's all we have. Thank you, Ken, for the donation. Do we have another one? Did I miss that
Foster.
one? Dan Foster. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Keep it up. Might need a break here in a second. All right. Maverick is doing April production for next month's allocations. I do know right now they gave us 17 allocations for Maverick. We did, of course, request for more, so hopefully, cross your fingers, we get more. We have about 20 leftover orders, carryover orders to schedule. So kind of hoping we get a couple more so we can get all those taken care of next month, and then we can move on to 23 new 23 orders. So let's see what else. Ranger not scheduling this week. Next month they are scheduling for April production dates, so we're probably getting pretty close to 23 Ranger being done. Of course, we can't order them anymore, so. And we'll talk about 24 in just a little bit. It does say retail orders are due. Of course, it's closed already. Just talked about it. We talked about that last week. They closed last week. You can still make changes to those orders, except for the motor, or you can't change the motor, but the trim line and the pep code. So you can't change the trim, you can't change the body code. So 23 F-150, February production week of 220. That is a cleanup scheduling. It says we do have 15 allocations, so hopefully get scheduled. We do have, they are limited on, of course, the same ones as last week. 2 kilowatt pro power inverters again, moonroof, power tailgate, the 3.3 liter, 5.0, 2.7 liters, and crew cab. So very limited crew cab. So they need regular cab and super cab orders. So if you have one of those, feel good that you have a super cab order or a regular cab order. Probably get scheduled. They are transitioning to job 2 with significant allocation. Will roll to next week. So it looks like job 2 is going to be starting here real soon. Something to note, if you have like the 2 kilowatt pro power power inverter that gives you 2 outlets. You can always go to the 400 watt inverter if you want instead, and it gives you 1 outlet instead of the 2 back there. That's something to think about if you want to go that route instead, and that can get yours scheduled. So keep that in mind. Take off your moonroof if you have it. Power tailgate, that's going to be your lariat trim and above. So XLT is a good one that you can get scheduled if you're looking for that, and then 3.5 liter engine or the power boost engine looks like what they're going to be scheduled for. All right, and then next month it's going to be March production dates, and they also reminded us something we already talked about, and that is the center high mounted stoplight camera removal for those that have the 360 camera package. So don't forget about that. We mentioned that last week. 23 Super Duty. They are limited at the Kentucky plant, and they'll also be scheduling for the Ohio plant. Again, no King Ranch Platinum, limited scheduling until job 2, which is April. Encourage spec change to the 18Y, the upfit integration system removal, delete. We mentioned that last week. Was that last week or the week before? No. Anyway, don't forget about that. Limited scheduling on 250 with the high capacity trailer tow package or the trimmer package, and 350 single rear wheel due to the axle constraint. And then, of course, limited scheduling on 360-degree camera. So those are, and then next month, Super Duty March production. So Super Duty F-150s, they schedule about a month in advance, whereas the others schedule about 2 months in advance for those. And then Transit Connect van and wagon is not scheduling this week. Not surprised. No wholesale at all. That means no scheduling for the Transit Connect van next month. The wagon they will schedule for April production dates though. And then the Transit, they're scheduling for March production weeks of 320 and 327. Same notes as before. If you need me to go over those, I can. Not a lot of people probably in here looking at the Transit. They are doing next month doing April production as well. And then lastly, the 23 Mustang Mach-E. They're scheduling for March scheduling or March production dates. And we have 3 allocations, so we might get those scheduled. Cleanup scheduling for both retail and stock orders. Next month they are going to be scheduling for April production dates, so they're back at it. Something they did note on the wholesale was that the premium 3P rear-wheel drive is you can schedule at 10%. The all-wheel drive is 30%, and that's the standard range battery, by the way. And then the premium extended range rear-wheel drive is 10%. The all-wheel drive is 50%. So premium, all-wheel drive, extended range is where it's at right there. Night Pony Package Edition is being scheduled at 10% max is what they're saying. And it does say shutting off retail orders late February, early March for job 1. So they said they're probably going to close off the order banks while they switch things over to job 2, and then they're going to open them back up. So if you see it open and go, oh, we're closed, and you go, wait a minute, then you'll know what's going on there. And then allocations are based, allocations and how many allocations the dealer gets is based 50% on the EV registrations in the market area. Kind of sucks for us. And 50% on the Mach-E sales. So that's going to help us out. So we do sell a lot out of state on Mach-E's and Lightnings. And so that's why I say that's not cool for us, because we don't have as many EV registrations maybe in our market area, which is usually about 30-mile radius from us. Not a lot of people, but we do sell a lot of people in outside states that want to work with us. So that's I wish Ford would look at that and just make it part of the Mach-E sales. So anyway, so there's that scheduling information. As you know, I'm not going to go over Lincoln. So we are closing that down. We think by the end of Q1, we will no longer be a Lincoln dealer. So right now, we're not really taking orders on Lincolns. We're just hoping that we get all ours in and taken care of. So, all right. So, and then constraints, we can look at that. Base is down to only 4% of the orders being a base model. They did schedule a lot of those last week. So that's pretty good. All the others are about the same because they didn't schedule any other model except for base and the Heritage last week. Maybe some manually allocated Raptors, but that's about it. Nothing else on the tops. They haven't really changed much from where they were last week. Because again, a lot of what they scheduled was the manuals and such, and they're looking for non-Sasquatch, vehicles, that kind of thing last week. Maybe some base with Sasquatch, but because that number went down a little bit, but not by much. So, and luxury packages went down just a little bit. So anyway, there you go. So, and then on the Maverick, nothing's really changed there either. We did have some scheduling last week. We had a bunch scheduled. We had 23 scheduled last week, right?
Yeah.
And we looked it up. I told people on the Facebook Live that I was going to do kind of a deep dive of looking at that and try to figure out, why we had some priority 10s that got looked over and why and that kind of stuff. It took me 2 seconds to look and notice that the ones that got overlooked were XLs. So all of ours that scheduled were hybrids, and all of them were either XL or Lariat trim. So that was pretty easy to figure out. So anyway, let's see. All right. So it looks like last week they were scheduling for XLT. All right, you got anything while I take a little break? Any comments, questions?
Oh, we have a lot of questions. But
Well, I mean, just any banter going on. I heard you laughing.
yeah. Heard, someone asked about Vicky Dell's Maverick, if it was still at the rail yard, and I said that it's at the dropship dealer waiting for its recall to get done.
Yep. Well, we understand. All right.
Joey Franco, the 23 recalls did not get done before shipped. They were shipped to they decided to finally, get them shipped to the dealer. And then once they get the point of sale started, then they would get the parts sent to the dealer so it can get fixed.
Yeah. So any of those so hers was built in that window right after when they found out the recall is when hers was being built, was right in that timeline of when they found out about the recall. And so once they figured it out, all the ones after that were being built, but hers happened to be built that week of the recall. So the recalls weren't done on those vehicles.
Yes.
So those are the ones that had to be done when they arrived at the dealer. And once they once they had a deal put together on the Maverick, then they would order. The dealer was able to order the parts. Until then, they were not able to order the parts on any. So if you have an in-stock one that happened to have a recall, it can't be done until either a deal is made on the vehicle or the parts come more readily available. So that's how that worked. And on Vicky's, that's what we were waiting on for a while, was hashing out all the deals on the contract and everything. So we were kind of waiting. Actually, we were waiting for them to get us the paperwork back. Because we had everything done, but they were just kind of waiting for them to get the paperwork back to us. So once that's done, then the dealer could go ahead and put those in. And also a good note to say, one of the reasons we don't like to do drop ships is kind of the experience that she had was that dealership, wasn't the quality that we would expect here in what we do on our vehicles. So that's why we're not a big fan of drop ships. For that reason, we like to be able to put our hands on it, make sure it gets set up right and everything else like that. But understand if there's a major cost to have it shipped to you and you want that lower rate, I get it. But sometimes because of that, we have to deal with what we get on other places. So like a lot of our Hawaii customers that were drop shipping, that makes sense because it costs like $3,000 to ship it to Hawaii. But now Hawaii dealers are charging us like $2,000 to do drop ships.
Yep.
So they're taking advantage of it and just getting in a quick $2,000 when everybody else in the States charge maybe $200, $300, $400 for that. So anyway, I digress. So let's go on. Dealer news update. Something I wanted to kind of point up, and I didn't actually bring a picture of this, but we have actually this has been available for a while, but now we can cover this under a warranty, and that is on the Ford Maverick. If you want the lowering springs, we can now do that and be covered with a warranty. And so Eibach does make the Eibach Pro Kit lowering springs, lowers it 2 inches in the 2.5 in the front, 3.5 in the back, and lowers that Maverick down if you want it. So if you want that on there, you can do that. The lowering springs themselves are about $335 plus the install and to be covered and everything. Also on top of that, Rough Country, which we've actually put a level kit on the Maverick using Rough Country. That kit there is inexpensive, and we can put that in, not too much. That's basically just adding those plates in there to level it out. But now Rough Country comes out with something, and that is the strut lift kit. So now you can get front and rear struts. This is a little bit different system here, so a little more expensive here. But if you want a great ride, you want something comparable to maybe a FX4 or a Tremor. They say it's as good as a Tremor suspension wise, but the Tremor still has a lot of other things included in the Tremor package on top of their suspension system. But they said this will rival the suspension system you'd get on the Tremor package. But there you go. So those are available. Those Niles, who's in the group, he's actually mentioned about those. So,
Yep.
yep. And the lowering kit can be done on the hybrid, he said, and he can answer anything else. If you got any questions about that, just ask him.
Yes, RagnarCon, we have matching vests because they are heated.
Yeah, you missed that part.
Yeah.
You came in late. You were late. You know, that's what happens.
He even announced himself, I have arrived.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. All right, so moving on. So last week we talked about the 23 F-150. F-150 is getting this center high mounted stoplight camera removal on those. A lot of people asked, hey, does that affect the Lightnings? And I said, no. Guess what? It does now. So now we have one for the Lightning as well. I shouldn't laugh about it. It's not actually funny.
Mike Solis from McArthur in there, I see.
So anyway, I don't know. But so it does say the Lightning Pro Series with the tow technology package, as well as XLT, Lariat, and Platinums will be equipped with the removal. So you'll have to remove that. It does say the date is January 30th, which was yesterday, that those are going to need to be removed. Option code 63R added to that. So just remember that. And they will not be eligible for retrofit. So they will not have that on there. So benefit of that camera back there, it's kind of cool to have. It's kind of a neat little thing to have. But unless you're backing up to, if you're going to tow a fifth wheel on there, would be the only real benefit I see, or loading up to maybe something you're going to put in the bed, maybe with, that you have on a forklift or something, that could see the benefit of that. Otherwise, so it shouldn't hurt too much, but you will get $175 credit for that. But that is going to be added to those vehicles. So there you go.
Big Red Machine, we will be talking about that here in a minute when we get to the topic.
Yes. We're working down. We're on the dealer news right now. We'll get to that in just a little bit. It won't take that long.
Yep.
All right. The Bronco Sport 1.5 liter engines are going to have a change to their carpeted mats. So the base and big bin customers will receive front carpeted floor mats that do not include the Bronco Sport logo. The floor mats were previously intended to have stitching, which included the logo. Vehicles built starting January 12th and onward are impacted. Shortage is expected to end mid-February. So I think it's probably a supplier goofed up on those, and that's what happened. But due to that, the customer's inconvenience, Ford Motor Company will provide 20,000 in Ford Pass rewards points, which amounts to $200 a piece. Let me do the math. Is that 200 points for every dollar? That $100 that amounts to?
Something like
That's
that.
as much as some all-weather mats. There you go. Get you some all-weather mats with the points.
Have to spray it in bed liner.
And you can use those points towards the aftermarket. There you go.
Yes, you can.
It's a Bronco Sport that wouldn't spray bed liner.
Oh, you're right.
Sorry.
Well, what if they have a Bronco Sport and a Maverick? Then you can use it for the Maverick.
All right. That's not your face. All right. Next one is on the 23 model year Explorer. Last year we had this happen. Now it's back again. The rear auxiliary controls need to be removed again. This time on the base XLT 200A and XLT 202A without the Sport Appearance package. We'll have to have these removed now. Unlike last year where they said they would be retrofitted, which I don't know if they really did. But now, no retrofit for this. Looks like that's kind of been the staple lately, is none of these are going to be retrofitted back on. So it says anything produced on or after February 6th with the spec change will be done. Now, $100 credit on the window sticker for that. You'll need to add that option code 91X. And actually, they're saying that will automatically be added to unscheduled and scheduled orders starting February 6th, which is good to note. They say that, but we had this week, just yesterday, someone who had a Lightning, and they ordered it, and it was right. They ordered it right before the change for the heated steering wheel removal, and Ford said as of like the October 14th, they would make that change. This order did not get that change, and so it has not been scheduled because of that, and we can't make the change.
Yeah.
So hopefully they do on this, but you want to have your dealer look at your orders after February 6th to see if they did make that change. So might give them a couple days because they never do anything on the date they say they're going to.
Ali Dubois is in here. Says thank you
Oh.
for the kind words, Tim.
Oh, sure.
Great info, breaking all this down for customers.
Yeah. Well, you and me both.
And then Niall says you can't bedline a Bronco Sport, but you can spray undercoating.
Yes.
There you go.
Use your points for that. Especially if you're going to take it off-road, or, you know, if you have a lot of...
Although
you live in Maine, right? Right, Rich? You live in Maine.
Although
Undercoat
one
it.
guy said, someone earlier in the chat said that they took their Jeep and they took out the carpets, they took out the seats, they taped it off, and they sprayed the bedliner coating inside the vehicle, so that way when they're off-roading, they can just wash down the interior. I'm guessing that's what it's for.
Maybe Ford
But
just needs to make
there you
washed-out
go.
interior for the Bronco Sport.
There you go.
Gosh, I can't remember. Do they do that on Badlands? Maybe they already do. I should know
It's
that.
called floor mat.
I should know that.
It's called all-weather
It's
floor
been a while
mat.
since I've done a video on that.
You put them in, you take them out, you spray them off, we're good.
All right. Speaking of, hopefully Ford does things when they say they're going to. The Ford Pass Rewards points, access points that can be used on accessories.ford.com was supposed to be activated last week. It said they would be effective January 30th. Those of you who went in yesterday or today, it's not done yet. They have now moved that back to February 8th. So
Yes.
that's all I got to say about that. I feel like I'm like on Saturday Night Live giving these fake news reports or something. All right, this is not fake news, by the way.
No.
All right. Okay. The next one is Ford now has a website you can go to for towing, so you can kind of get more information on that. And so you want to go to ford.com/towing. You can also set up an account so that you can put your information on your vehicle in there, so they can give you all the information that you can have in there. You add in, you know, different things that you know your vehicle's gross vehicle weight rating, gross combined weight rating, max weight, max payload, all that's populated in there for a calculator and such, so you know how much you could tow and haul and that kind of stuff. So check that out, ford.com/towing. All right, what else? I do have some order guide updates. We had some update last week. I missed it on one last week. A couple things that I noticed. One of them was that we already know the F-150 order guide. They did update and add the option code for that removal for the camera system. And then also on the Escape, they forgot to add the wording on the beltline molding for your ST line standard equipment. It's supposed to say black upper window molding with black beltline molding. You know, that's kind of the sport look. They now added the wording to that. Not a big deal. Also, they updated and put the image to the wheel for the 18-inch rock metallic painted alloy wheel as well. So that's cool. They added the picture to the order guide. And then the other is on the Platinum, they forgot to include the word heated on the passenger seat. So it's the front passenger, or the driver and front passenger will have heated seats, standard equipment on the Platinum trim. So, all right, and I got a bunch of links down in the Ford News. If you want to check it out, let me briefly go over a couple of them. You can read the articles. Most of them are Ford Authority articles, but check out those links. I always reference those because no plagiarism here. I learned that in English class a long time ago. All right, first one is on the Ford BlueCruise. It has been named the top hands-free system of all of them that were rated by Consumer Reports. So they rated 12 active driving assistance systems to study. They subjected each to 40 different, and I'm quoting this right from Ford Authority, by the way, to 40 different tests at its 327 acre auto test center in Connecticut, and on a 50-mile loop on public roads between September and December 2022. The tests range from how a vehicle is steered while the system was activated, how well it maintained the constant speed, the driver engagement, and knowing that it kept it engaged, and safety during the process. So BlueCruise finished first with a score of 84, and I say that because second place was a 72, which was GM's Super Cruise, which got first last year, or the last time they tested, I should say. BMW was third, 69. So third place was 69, whereas Ford's was 84. That's pretty cool, and I've used this system, and I like it. I mean, it is pretty cool, and they did mention in there, you know, of how kind of eerie it was to watch the steering wheel move and how well it worked and everything. But a Tesla was clear down at 61. Rivian was below that at 59. Hopefully you don't have a Hyundai, Kia, or Genesis. I probably wouldn't use their system because it's a 47. So a lot of them have some work to do. Ford's doing, not only are they doing good, but they're adding to their system. So they will roll out BlueCruise 1.2 update eventually with the hands-free lane changing, the predictive speed assist on the corners. What was the other thing? The Bliss nudge system.
Yep.
I can't wait for that part. Anyway, so that's pretty cool. So I'm glad. I kind of tweeted out last week. I said it's kind of cool having not only one of the best vehicles, F-150 Lightning, as vehicle of the year or truck of the year or whatever, but also the best driving assistance feature having BlueCruise on mine. So, and it's cool. It is. We used it. I think coming from Topeka to here. It was late in the morning. I didn't 100
Early
miles
in the morning, not late in the morning.
Early in the
in
morning. So 100 miles. I touched the steering wheel once, and that
Yeah.
was to change the lanes, and that was it. That was pretty cool.
It helped me not feel so bad that I kept falling asleep.
Yeah. All right. We get a donation there.
We did from John Ashton.
John. Well, thank you, John.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
It's a cute little emoji. See?
I see that. High five.
Fives.
All right. Something I saw yesterday tweeted out, and that is the Travel Centers of America, the TA, filling stations and those places you can stop for gas. And if you have an electric vehicle, you can't stop at them because you don't need gas. But they are partnering with Electrified America now to expand the electric vehicle infrastructure. So they said they will have 1,000 individual chargers at 200 locations across major highways over 5 years, and they're going to start putting them in 2023. So that's pretty cool to see. I love using Electrified Americas. I know they're California in some places. They don't always work so well, probably because they're used a lot more often than they are in Kansas. Of course, it helps if you actually have some in Kansas. I only have a couple, but all the ones that we stopped off going to St. Louis worked wonderfully. And of course, those chargers always are usually 350 kilowatt chargers, so they'll charge much faster than most of the others. I know ChargePoint is usually 125, and some of those others are smaller. So that'll be good. Might take them a little while. Again, 5 years. So where you see those, but there you go.
Yeah.
All right. The Bronco Sport has a recall. Another one. So ABS modular, go down, whatever, leak issue.
Yeah.
So does say that it's infected vehicles that valves inside the anti-lock brake system may have been damaged during manufacturing, causing an internal ABS leak, modular leak. And it says, so it does say that it could increase the distance in the brake pedal travel, and also or unexpected movement during an auto hold event, which is not something you want to expect. So they said they haven't seen any accidents yet that they're aware of, or injuries or anything from this. They just want to be proactive, and really only affects 23 Bronco Sports that were built between December 8th of last year and December 16th. So only for those 8 days. So only 801 vehicles were affected by this. Of course, it's going to be free of charge. Expect information being communicated from Ford around February 15th. So don't go to your dealers yet and ask them about it. But if you do want that recall number, it's 23S01. So sounds like that's the first recall for 23. So 23S01.
Altray Nation says, "Why did you let your KC beat my Bengals?"
Actually, it's not my KC.
He's
I am from Kansas. Go Jayhawks. But I'm a Jayhawks fan. Of course, I'm born and raised in Lawrence, but not a Chiefs fan. My entire family is. I'm really surprised I didn't get a phone call from my parents. They're big Kansas City fans, but I am not. I was actually hoping they would win.
Yeah.
Not saying that. Don't say that too loud.
There's some.
Never know. I might come in with my desk filled with Chief stuff.
Oh my word. We
But
have
no,
quite a few.
I'm a Packer fan, so of course.
That's how my husband and him,
Yes.
got acquainted
Leave up.
when he first started working here, because they were
Packers.
the only Packers fans in the dealership.
Yeah. Yep. Go Pack. Go. Not a great year. Anyway, okay. Moving on. Maverick Thunder trademark. So we've actually heard, we talked about this before. In Europe, they trademarked the word Maverick Thunder. Now it's being trademarked in the U.S. So it was filed June 27th and published January 24th. So there we go. So will they be using the name Maverick Thunder, and what will that look like? Well, Ford did do something like that in Europe. They did a Ranger Thunder, and so here's some images of what that looked like. So it's kind of a black appearance package in a sense. Black wheels, a lot of black accents, but a lot of red accents to go along with it. So you'll see those nostrils are red instead of like orange like they are on the Tremor, and some of the other appearance packages that they've had. Red accent also. You can kind of see what that looks like there in the back. It does come with that roll bar and the tonneau cover that kind of retracts back. So that's what that looks like on a Ranger. Will they bring that over to the Maverick? We'll have to wait and see what that's going to look like. Will it be their ST version? I don't know. I think they'll probably use the ST name if they do that. But so anyway, they trademarked it. I think they said in this the Ford Authority article was that the last time they did that.
Now says it looks like there's a suspension upgrade on that Ranger too.
Probably. It doesn't mention that in this article, but
I wouldn't doubt it.
yeah, probably. But they said the last time when it was put in there was about a year and a half from when they trademarked it to when a vehicle came out. And it was last time it was only a limited run of those. 4,500 total units were produced, so it was a limited run. So will it be a Maverick? Maybe next year, the year after, they'll have, instead of a black appearance package, they'll have a Thunder package. We'll have to wait and see there. So anyway, there you go. Last article I want to talk about is the Ford Ranger. Ford Authority's in here, so right. He always does that, number one. So him and Allie, he's got an order. Allie is supposed to get him a Ranger.
Oh yeah.
And he's supposed to be number one in the spot for a Ranger Raptor. So
okay.
So here you go. So this actually, of course, I think even All Terrain Nation showed images of this, and he actually got some about the same time this was found on Bronco 6G or Ranger 6G. Sorry. So Ranger has their own forum as well. So there's them as you can see, that's in the map plant. You can see it's right behind it are the Broncos. So it's being produced hopefully for the auto show.
Yes.
Maybe.
We would like that.
We'll see that. So if we do see that Cactus Gray at the auto show, we'll let you know. We'll get pictures. But some pretty good images that they got there. So you got a couple more, I think, on this other one.
Have a good night, All Terrain Nation. Thank you for joining.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. Appreciate the support there. All right. We got the back. Looks pretty good. I like the black accents and such. Of course, I love the back bumper with the dual exhaust and the tow hook on the back. There you go. And then they even have some interior shots here. So we don't always see those on the interior. So really surprised. Usually they don't like to take pictures. I know someone at one of the other plants, I won't say which one, that has been there for a long time that hasn't gotten me any images before because he said they're not allowed to take photos. So this is someone sneaked these, and hopefully they didn't get into too much trouble there. There you go. Like the interior right there. I love the suede inserts and such, and the red accents. Actually, it's supposed to be code orange, so code orange accents. And then love the screen on that. So that's the Sync 4A screen. Looks like it's a 12-inch size screen there, so it'll have the Sync 4A. So which is cool seeing them have the Sync 4, because we like to see that Sync 4 roll out to almost every vehicle, because that's where you get the over-the-air updates.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there you go. So that is there. So we'll see. And don't forget the Ranger Raptor for the U.S. should have the 3.0 liter EcoBoost engine, giving you 392 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. So with the 10-speed automatic transmission. So anyway, there you go. So articles. All right. Anything before I go on to the Is It True? I know somebody's really looking forward to us talking about the topic for tonight, but
I don't think so.
no. All right. For Is It True tonight? Some people had mentioned on will the 2023 Bronco order banks open up on 3/27? I kind of have an answer, but don't have an answer. So let me explain. So we do have, there's been, people saying March 27th. I've even mentioned March 27th as an expected date for those to open up, the order banks open up. And Ford has, put in a couple different situations where they have put this in on their different, of course, I know on the Bronco, when they did the broadcast, they said, March 27th is when they're hoping to open up the order banks. On the call this week when they went over the wholesale for all the dealers in the Midwest, that slide actually, I'm gonna paraphrase, or not paraphrase, I'm gonna quote it here. It says 23 model year Bronco Retail order bank expected, keyword expected, to open on 3/27, and then in parentheses, subject to change. So that's very important. So that is not set in stone date. Just remember that. So yes, they have released and said it's going to open up the 27th of March, but that is a tentative date. That is what they're going for. So I would rather them say the week of or something like that, or late March, that kind of thing. But of course, they usually do that to us. They usually will say spring, right? So it's like spring. So you never know what they're going to mean by that. But so they're hopeful that it's going to be March 27th. But knowing Maverick, of course, they said it was supposed to be August 2nd. What ended up happening, it got pushed back till even it was like a week out from that. They got pushed back to September 15th. We've seen the Edge, even the day of the launch of the order bank for the Edge was supposed to be launched. They said it's going to be 2 weeks later. So again, even if it's the 26th, that could change. So keep that in mind. But that we hope for that. Now keep in mind, it'll probably also be like a half-year run for a lot of people. And also, don't forget, dealers will need to have allocations for these. So we know that we're going to have about 58 allocations ourselves, but also make sure dealers are taking orders based on those constraints. So just because the order banks open up doesn't mean the Wild Track now is readily available, or that the Sasquatch is going to be readily available. It's still going to be constrained to those capacity amounts. So make sure you talk to your dealers about, hey, how many orders do you think you have? How many Wild Tracks, that kind of stuff. So as you're putting those in, so you have that kind of already thinking that, hey, I may not get a 23. So you already have, like for us, according to Ford, it says we should take no more than 11 Wild Track orders. Well, if I'm number 12 on that list, I probably will not get my Bronco in 23 model year. So you just need to know that. So just keep that in mind right there for that, and know that that's a tentative date. That doesn't mean that it's solid. It could move around. All right, for tonight's topic, we're going to talk about the changes to the Model E. So we didn't go to NADA, but thankfully Automotive News was there. So Automotive News did go there, and they talked to dealers afterwards. So there are a lot of dealers that were upset about the different requirements for being a Model E dealer. One of those was the charging standards. Some of those were, the expense of that. A lot of them were upset that there's two different levels of that. There's a certified and certified elite, and that those were certified dealers with a lower amount of chargers. It was going to be capped at 25 sales per year, and so they were really upset with that. So Ford's saying now remember, this is I think what their wording here was they will plan to evolve the program to advance the customer experience and support overall mutual success. So they don't want it to be a problem here, and they did say now with this, if you're a certified dealer, you will not be capped at 25 sales, and you will be on Ford.com, whereas before you were not going to be located on Ford.com, only the certified dealers. Mm-hmm. Now, as a certified dealer, what we signed up for, I'm actually don't like this, because you either go all in and say I'm going to be a certified elite, or you don't. You shouldn't, in my opinion, you should be not necessarily capped, but the way to do that is to just allocate those dealerships less. Yeah. Hey, here's how many allocations you're going to have. You're going to get 24 allocations for the year, or 25, and you're going to get 2 a month, or something like that. But I think that is fair, because they're not willing to make the investment. Mm-hmm. Now, there are some dealers in smaller markets that maybe they can't, invest that much. So maybe that's what they're looking here. And so I know they've had a lot of lawsuits and everything, but so they did update, and actually they send the dealers out a memo about their update to their charging. So they'll probably update the information about the other requirements. But for charging, they did put something out and said that now they have changed the requirement for the charging. Now, there is a note in here that a lot of people are going to do a lot of traveling on the weekends. That's usually when they're going to need to use the DC fast chargers. If you didn't know, dealers are required to put DC fast chargers at their dealership. We're putting 3 in right off the bat. So they said you had to put 2 in the first year, another one a year later. We just said, you know what, let's just do it once, and that way we don't have the inconvenience of our lot and everything let's just go ahead and get all 3 of them. In fact, we're putting in more than those 3. We're putting in 3 DC fast chargers and some level 2 chargers as well. So we're going all in. We're gonna take up, I think, 4 spots on our customer parking and 2 on the other side for that. So we're going all in and doing that. So anyway, so they did say though some dealerships were bothered by the fact that those are going to be 24/7 chargers at the dealers. So I don't agree with that. I think they should be. Again, if people are traveling on, a Sunday late at night, we were traveling late at night. We hit the Walmart in Topeka. It was past midnight. Thankfully, they didn't cut theirs off, or we would have been stranded.
Yeah, because Kansas City was midnight, and then Topeka was what, 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was late. We got back at like 2:30 or something. But, these people a lot of times are traveling on a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday. They mentioned the percentages on there. They encourage dealerships to leave theirs open 24/7, but said the minimum requirement has been changed. They have to be available 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, and 24/7 remains recommended for minimizing customer pain points. So that means they could be closed on a Sunday. So hopefully most dealerships don't choose that, but I get it. They're coming onto your dealer lot, but hey, we encourage it. Drive our lot. Look at our inventory. Usually on a weekend, we get a lot of leads on Monday. Why? Because they drive our lot on a Sunday afternoon, look around at our inventory, and then they're calling us Monday or sending an internet lead and saying they want to look at a vehicle that they saw on our lot.
Yeah.
So dealerships that aren't allowing customers to come onto their lots and look at their inventory, because if you're in a sketchy area or something like that, I can get that, but otherwise it's a great way to allow people on there to see your inventory. Of course, you can see your inventory online, but there's still some people that are old school, at least in the Midwest. So anyway, so there you go. So that's a change. Also, they did change the optional requirement of who you get your chargers through. So now they're making it optional. You can do an optional service, but you will be required to have that inspected to adhere to the requirements that they were requesting. So if you go through the system that they have in place, then you're going to be okay. Now, if you use one of the others and you use those, you will have to make sure they have the stickers, so you'll have to pay for those as well. But anyway, that's in here outlined as well. I don't know why dealers can just go through those. I think we're using the recommended one that they had, the AGM, I think, is that what it is? ABM, I think, is the company we're going through. But anyway, so there you go. So that's the information about that change. We'll probably see more changes as they try to adapt this. They're trying to appease the dealerships if they can. They usually get information from the dealer councils and such like that, which I'd love to be a part of, but we're not. Anyway, okay. Moving on, if you've seen any of the news, there were a lot of journalists that posted this yesterday about the Mach-E prices they have lowered. So I put a video out about a week ago. I didn't do a video on my FordVideoGuy last week, or this last week, but the week before I did one on the Mach-E versus the Tesla. If you had a chance to watch that, I should have put it in the description. But anyway, check that out. I talked about that. I talked about that the Mach-E needs to lower their prices to get under that cap, because right now you can only get a select under that cap. You can't get a premium, which comes standard with the BlueCruise without the subscription, right? So they have changed. They have lowered the prices. So now looks like a lot of them are lowered down quite a bit. The image I have here does not show the. Do I have the one that? Yeah, I have the news release here. So that shows the difference. So the Select rear-wheel drive standard range is now $45,900. So they lowered it about $900. The all-wheel drive version of the Select is $48,900, so $600. So now you have two that are less than $50,000, which is way less than Tesla's. The Route 1 is not below $55,000 to get the tax credit. The premium standard range rear-wheel drive is $50,995, so they lowered it $3,900 and $80. You want to be specific. So they've lowered it way down, as well as the premium all-wheel drive standard range is now $53,900. So if you want to go all-wheel drive standard range, that's $3,600 less than it was. So now that gets that one under the 55 cap. Before it was over that. But extended range, they lowered it from $8,600 to go extended range on the premium to now $7,000, but that still puts it over the 55. So you still cannot get, or you still can't get an extended range Mach-E under 55, that cap. So again, that needs to be changed. They need to be able to get that under 55. Make that extended range $5,000, lower the premium, whatever you need to do. You need to get that, because a Tesla, you can get a Tesla extended range. They call it long range. Bigger battery, more range than what Ford has for under 55. So I showed that in my video. Something else to note on this, it is not the selling price of the vehicle. Just so you know that, I'm going to actually do a video on what the requirements are for the tax credit, but the tax credit does not include destination and delivery, and it's that tax credit is based on the MSRP price of the vehicle, not the selling price. So if a dealer has a vehicle, let's say its MSRP is $55,900 or whatever, and they sell it to you for $54,900, it's not the selling price, it's an MSRP price before the shipping, the destination delivery charge, and before any dealer ads and taxes and fees. So just so you know that. A lot of people don't realize that and know that that's a fact. So I want to make sure everybody knows about that. They did actually, Ford came out and said in their news release, press release, that in addition to the adjusted pricing on the Mustang Mach-E, vehicles ordered between January 30th and April 3rd, Ford Credit will be offering special rates as low as 5.34%, which I guess right now is good, but whatever. Anyway, we won't talk about rates right now. So anyway, also to note too is that if you took delivery before yesterday, in January, Ford is going to be reaching out to you individually and making it right. So is what they said. So I think, all right, it says, part of our mission at Ford is to treat customers like family. We want our customers to know they made the right decision by choosing a Mustang Mach-E, and will continue to play a proactive role in doing the right thing for those joining the Ford family. So I think I missed the part where they mentioned that they're going to be taking care of them. So it says, anyway, so, and then any of them that are in the process of getting built, those window stickers will get changed and updated as they're getting built. And the ones that are in stock, I think window stickers are going to be coming to change those prices. So we have a couple in stock right now. So hopefully we get those window stickers updated. Of course, most of ours are GTs, but so they'd be over the cap. But anyway, so there you go. So that's a change and update there. So that one that somebody had pointed out the fact that Ford, the Tesla is, changed their prices, but they're not going back to anybody that just delivered theirs. So that's making some of those people a little irate. But for people that just received theirs prior to 2022, I think they should still, for those that maybe bought a 23 model year in December, they probably, there are a few that did. They should reimburse them as well. I mean, it shouldn't just be people starting January 1 because they can get the tax credit. It's not just about the tax credit, it's the vehicle's more expensive. So I think anybody that got a vehicle and took delivery in a 23 model year vehicle, if it was November, December, I think it would probably just be December, they should also be contacted by Ford and have made that right as well. That's just my opinion, but
Yeah.
I don't work for Ford. So anyway, I think I'm done.
All right.
8:07.
8:07, and we have
A couple questions? Just one, right?
maybe.
All right.
Richview was asked if, maybe, do you think we could do an undercoating video with Niles?
We probably could.
Show that process?
Does Gary do those too, Niles? Probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we can do some others. We were thinking, we had people ask us to do other bed cover videos, but I reminded them is that all the bed covers are pretty much assembled the same way. They all have a rail system with brackets to put on, and so again, they're pretty easy to install with instructions. Just follow that. But thanks for the update. Whoever, somebody put it in there about KU. Mike, thank you. They're up. So luckily they, great thing they won the other day. Lost 3 in a row. They can't lose 4 in a row. So they won. They beat Kentucky. Like I said, Saturday, at least somebody with a K and a U in the name will win. Because it was Kentucky or KU, UK or KU. There we go. So for those of you who don't know, this is a Sunflower Showdown. And Sunday was Kansas Day. So January 29th is Kansas Day. So very fitting. They should have played on Sunday, in my opinion. But this is a Sunflower Showdown. All right, what are our questions there?
Okay, so the first one, I found out that our header hides questions at the top. So I took a screenshot. I took a picture. Patrick.
What happens if those get jumped up?
They won't. It just hides that top area. So then like I can read all of those, but just those first 2 questions get hidden.
Okay.
So I took a picture.
Okay.
Okay. Patrick Ben says, is the tow package on the Bronco really late availability now? If so, when can we expect builds with tow to start scheduling?
Nope, they are. We've had them scheduled. We haven't had an
Okay.
issue with those. Nope. You probably have something else on your Bronco that's causing it to be delayed from scheduling. It's not the hitch. So in the past, the tow hitch was over constrained. A lot of people took those off their orders, making it more readily available. The capacity is still 55%, which is, a little bit low.
Yeah.
Anytime it's, under a certain percentage, I like to put it on there, but only 31% of the orders have that added on to them right now. So that's still within capacity. So you should be good.
Yeah.
So.
Before we get too far into this, if you have a question, drop it into the blue box so that we can answer it. And if we don't answer it right away, we do have a whole list of questions. We will get to it eventually.
Yep.
But
Yeah, try not to post a question in there twice.
yeah.
And we'll get to the questions. And if you do have a question in here and I don't bring it up, drop it in there so that way we can respect the people that drop their questions in there and
Yeah.
get to those. We'll get to them in the order that they were put in there, and we'll answer as many as we can tonight.
Yeah.
In fact, we will usually, and we've never done this, we will not leave before all the questions are answered. So if we don't answer your question towards the end, make sure you
Yeah.
put it in there.
And we'll do a last call for questions.
Yeah, we'll
so
do
if
a
we don't
last call
answer
for
it,
questions.
drop it back in.
We want to make sure we hit everybody. So.
Yeah. We do have a special viewer tonight, Lebo
Yeah.
and Theo. Theo fell asleep watching us. So, yeah. While I'm looking at questions, I get a text of the baby sleeping. He fell asleep watching us.
All right.
All right, Mike E says, should I be concerned that I have nothing yet from my dealer on my Maverick XL with 360 Copilot, priority code 19? I'm in Arizona. They don't have to ship it that far.
Okay. You've already been scheduled?
It doesn't say. I have nothing yet from my dealer on my Maverick.
You might check and see if it's been scheduled or not. But XL, again, the 15% of the orders are going to be XL, so that is a little constrained this year. But priority 19 does bother me a little bit on that. So you might check and see if all their orders are put in as a 19. If it's a new order, I could see them leaving them as the default, which is 19. As long as everybody else is at 19, you might check and make sure on that, on your party code on that. So
Yeah, but Arizona is that first stop for all of the trains. So the train
come
goes
over.
up from Mexico into Arizona, and then they spiral web from there. So
Head
you are
must
right.
go.
They won't go. They won't go far from there. But yeah. All right.
all right.
What is the price to have spray and bed liner installed? And Niles answered that earlier. It is $495.
Lifetime warranty. Right?
Yes.
I think so.
Niles says that Gary does do the undercoating as well. Alan says, too bad I missed out on Maverick Atlas Blue. Well, we don't know. It might be here next year.
Yeah, it's available this year.
Yeah, it's available for 23. So
We don't know what'll happen for
Yeah.
24.
But it might still be there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, most of the other colors came over from 22, so.
Yeah. All right. Marine Vet says, can a heated steering wheel be added to a Bronco aftermarket?
Not that I'm aware of.
I
There might be
haven't
some
heard of
companies
any.
that can do it, but I think it'd have to be a steering wheel change out
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah.
And like we have seen, like on the F-150s that have the heated steering wheel removal, it's because of the steering wheel itself is a constraint.
Yeah.
Whereas on the F-150 Lightning, it's a software thing that needs to be up. That's why it can be retrofitted in the Lightning and not the ICE version, is because in the ICE version it's a physical steering wheel that's constrained, whereas on the Lightning it's just software that needs to
Yeah.
be upgraded.
You know what
So,
they need to make? You know how they have like the heated vests and heated jackets? They need to make a rechargeable heated steering wheel cover. For
There you
those
go.
that have an older vehicle.
You know what I do in my Bronco, because I have heated seats but not heated steering wheel. The vents are kind of faced towards the steering wheel a little bit, so I feel like I have a heated steering wheel. That's
I
what I
have the
do.
heated steering wheel. It's nice.
That's what I do.
The WB says, I know it's a service, but you guys should comment about the deep sleep issue that occurs in the Maverick. I haven't seen it happen to my personal one. I think it's happening more on hybrids. Niall says, unfortunately, McArthur aftermarket won't be able to help with heated steering wheels. So
I didn't think so.
there we go.
All right.
But back to the deep sleep issue. I mean, I've seen you guys talking about it in there. It sounds like a battery issue. Some people say, you know, it goes all night and they're fine, but then when they're out and about, they're getting notifications.
I think we need to see too if it happens in the spring.
Yes,
So it
because
could
we're
be
in the winter.
In the winter, some of those batteries
harsher to
struggle
the-
to
yeah.
get started or whatever. So,
Yeah.
but anyway,
Well, it's what 30 degrees today, Specsinator.
I don't
I'm
know.
sitting in our heated seats. All right. Let's see. We are on. Oh, here. I'm forgetting to do this for you.
I'll try to do some research on the deep sleep, but
All right. Tom Walker says, could you talk about allocations? Is there a difference between stock and retail order allocations? Does the dealer size make a difference regarding ordering preference so allocations change monthly?
okay. So basically how allocations work is it's based on, for most model lines, it's based on the amount of vehicles they sell. So their sales volume analysis is what it is. And so it's on a 12-month revolving. So most dealerships end up getting the same allocations about every month, and they sell so much every month. And allocations is for stock or retail orders. Typically what happens is, like this year, those they're going to be used based on the all the allocation. The retail orders are going to be used within the dealer's allocations available. And then if there's no retail orders, then the dealers will get stock ones. That's why we're going to start seeing some Bronco Sport stock, because we've scheduled all of our retail orders already. So we're not going to have, that's what we're going to have left. Explorers are the same way. Everything we're getting scheduled right now are stock because we don't have any retail orders. But yet, because we sold so many Explorers, we still get about 12 to 18 Explorer allocations a month. Same way. So Maverick is one, Bronco's another. Some of the models, Mach-E we talked about earlier, that 50% of the allocations are based on your EVs in the market area that you're in, or your DMA. The other 50% is in your Mach-E sales for the last 12 months. Maverick is one where it's actually, they call it a market basket mix of how you earn your allocations, and that is on Escape sales, on Bronco Sport sales, on Ranger sales, as well as on Maverick sales. It's not 100% Maverick for the last 12 months. It's a combination of all three in different percentages. Bronco, I can't remember what the market basket mix is on that one, but some of it, small percentage, is your Bronco sales. So we see almost every month, Bronco's usually 10 to 13 allocations a month. So it can vary by a few each month. We got 17 this month on Maverick, which is really probably small. I mean, in my opinion, too small, because but we'll just see how that works out. But I also think February is a small allocation month anyway, because there's only like a couple weeks that are scheduled for. So because of that, I think it's a small allocation month. So hopefully we see that number go up. But that's typically how that works. And so a smaller dealer that sells smaller amounts, they would get less allocations. Now we're really technically a smaller dealer. We're a dealership in Salina, Kansas with 50,000 people. So we have a DMA. According to Ford, we sell 300 times more than what they say we should in our DMA. So based on that, we're actually getting more allocations than some of the metro dealers. So just because you have a small dealer doesn't mean they get a small amount of allocations. So
Niall says that we should do a YouTube short on how allocations work, and that cannot be explained in a YouTube short, because those are 60 seconds.
I can't explain it in 60 seconds.
Well, Ragnar Condon came in and said, Niles Gridley, that sounds like a task for Sarah. Tim talks too much for shorts.
Yes.
That's why I do the short. No. No, I think I just started doing them. And
I tried recording one for Sarah, and I recorded it and gave it to her shoulder, and she's like, yeah, that's a minute and 40 seconds. You got to get down to a minute. And I'm like, dang it.
See, and I just started posting shorts, and so it's just kind of become my job. So I actually really enjoy doing shorts.
She's been doing TikToks. So
yeah.
The TikToks let you go longer, don't they?
Oh, Tim Johnson says, when we come to Chicago Auto Show, where are Long Johns? It's -5 here.
Well, what was it, Sunday? It was -9 wind chill.
Yeah. It was. I did not go outside.
That was not fun. All right.
No. Okay.
Next question.
And I had it on here. Sorry, guys. I moved my cursor. Gotta select it first. What would the chance to get a F-150 Lightning Pro this summer for the 24 model year? Not a reservation holder, but would love to get one. Thanks for all the help.
Okay, so 23 model year, the Lightning Pro is sold out. Ford has said that they're not going to open that back up. They said XLT could open back up, but the Pro will not open up. And 24, we do not know any information. So 20, basically what they're wanting to do is everybody that has a reservation right now will get scheduled for 23 model year production, period. And they're not rolling any of those over to 24, because 24 is when we have the new Model E dealer structure and program will be in place. So that'll be totally different. So, and they'll probably start taking either reservations, orders at some point. We will probably see Pro be available again, very small quantity, because they're focusing on the Pro version is for those fleet dealers or fleet customers, I should say, in the commercial and such, because they want to provide it to them. But maybe we'll see it open up more this year. So if you want a Pro version, I almost encourage you to find a business that can get you one, because that might be the only way you're going to get one. So it'll be quick. So
Okay. Here we go. Hello, Tim and Sarah. Tim, please explain what the load bed option constraint for the Maverick is. That the plastic drop-in liner?
I think it is. I think it's the tray liner. So I think I've seen one image where it's basically the plastic bed-in liner is actually 4 sections put together. It's kind of puzzle pieced together. There's a bottom, there's some 2 sides and a back. So I think the tray liner is basically the bottom part without the sides. So I think that's what that is. So what's really bad is that in the scheduling notes, what they call it in the commodity thing, they'll call it something different than what it shows on the order guide as well as showed on the order sheet. Kind of like the bed rail system is 4 different names, depends on where you're looking.
Yep.
So I think that's what that is. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty confident that's what that is.
Yeah. All right. The WB says, on behalf of Johnny's Car Care and Review, can you comment on the sighting of a, what is that, Kuga in Florida? Kuga?
I cannot, but if Johnny said so, believe it. So, and it's not uncommon to see. I mean, if they received it and they purchased it in Europe, they could, especially if they were like in the military or something, they could have transferred that over here and it'd be in the States. So I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. So,
Yep.
and if Johnny saw it, I believe it.
All right.
But some people say, I want to see visual proof.
Badlands isn't scheduling. I thought it was only the optional wheel that's...
No. The scheduling notes, now I got to see if I can find it. It says that Badlands with the optional wheel is not scheduling. Or wait, hold on. Let me look at that. What's it say? It says no scheduling for Raptor, Heritage, Everglades base, manual transmission, or Badlands with the optional wheel. So they want to take the Badlands with the standard wheel, if that makes sense. So that's what they'll schedule for. And that might also mean probably no Sasquatch for the Badlands.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yes, so they're going to be scheduling, they'll schedule Badlands, but it can't have the optional wheel. It can have the standard wheel. There you go.
All
Optional
right.
wheel's a cool one.
Paul Woodward says, I tried to remove my drop-in bed liner from my Maverick. When my dealer tried it would default the bed liner. There was no way to have the order system update without having one form of bed liner.
No, if they just click on it, it should remove it.
Yep.
I mean, the luxury package doesn't require it anymore, so you should be able to just unselect it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we've unselected them before.
Yeah.
So
I
don't know.
unselect them before.
Have them try it on a day that's not Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
Yes.
Have them try it on Friday.
Friday's a good day. The WC says that there is a short of the Johnny's Car Care did a short with proof.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have to go check that out.
Yep.
Yeah. We were on Paul Woodward, so now we are on to Vols. How long before the Law McArthur website will display the new window stickers for the 3 Mach-E's? I want to recommend them, but the stickers still have the old higher prices.
Oh, ours? Yes. I don't know, because that... Actually, that might be once we can physically get it. So they did say that it could take a few days for those to get updated. For us, once we get the window stickers, it's a physical. All of on what I have set up for our website on the new vehicles is we manually change the prices. The MSRP, I manually put in the MSRP price. Well, it actually pulls it over automatically, but I lock all those in so they can't be altered without my input or Sarah's to change those, as well as our prices, our internet prices. So once we get the new window stickers and that information, once I click on the link, there is a link for the window sticker, and it pulls it up. And once that gets changed, then we'll change it. So I think we have them sold, but
all right. ML Culpepper says, anyone able to use Ford Pass points at accessories online? So we addressed that one.
Yep, February 8th, tentative.
Yes. Ken Mayer says, any news on Bronco constraints? I think all of us order holders are anxiously awaiting. I think you did those, right?
Yeah, we did talk about those earlier, but they haven't really changed from what they were the last couple weeks. It's just last 2 weeks, I think they were only scheduling like the base and the heritage and such, the ones that, people wouldn't be making changes to.
Yeah.
So they were scheduling those the last 2 weeks, giving people an opportunity to make those changes to their order before scheduling them. So we'll see some Wild Tracks and some, Black Diamonds, Outer Banks, and all those get scheduled this week probably. So look, in fact, let's while you pull up the next question, let's look at our, we had a refresh. Let's look and see what we have previewing. Might get it, because we do still have 10 allocations that need to be used. So let's look and see if we have any previewing today. Previewing means that Ford's looking at them pretty seriously, and such. Ooh, actually, why does some of them say scheduled? Oh, that's our Raptor.
Oh.
No, it's not a Raptor. Oh, that's Everglades. Okay.
Yeah.
We got an Everglade, actually. It's so.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
That's good.
Yes. So we had one schedule. Okay, and let's look. Oh, okay. And then we got. Yeah, we do have.
Are you thinking that's the same guy from the other day?
Yeah.
No, that's a different one.
Are you sure? Because
Yeah,
he said he had an order with us. Anyway, digress. Okay, but we do have some. There's a Big Ben Sasquatch package. Just get a look at the preview. I got an Outer Banks. I do have a Wild Track that's previewing. Another Wild Track. Badlands with the Lux package. Another we have two Outer Banks, both of them with the Lux package, by the way. 662. I think that's a Heritage Edition, which is weird because I didn't think they were going to schedule. You have a base. Looks like with the it is with the Sasquatch package, so a base Squatch, and then another Outer Banks without the Lux package. There you go. So not sure if those will schedule. They shouldn't. Anyway, got a couple. I don't know why, but they're showing on here that I don't think they'll schedule. But anyway, so not bad. So. And then one that was manually allocated, looks like. So they need to be scheduled, evidently. It's been a while.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. So we do have a mixture of, it looks like a lot of them with the Sasquatch. All of our orders had hardtops. So we have 10 orders that are previewing right now, all with hardtops.
Yep.
So.
All right. Next one is from Gene Hanks. I received my built email on Friday and they shipped my and then my shipped email on Monday. What email should I expect next? It's arrived, right?
Yeah, if it's shipped, if it's the one that says that's been shipped and it has an ETA, then you won't receive another one until it's arrived.
Yep.
Yep. And you can check with your dealer to find out.
They can try and do some tracking.
Yeah, they can try to do some tracking. Oh, I think it's that person. Yeah.
Yes, I realize what.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Next one is from Vols44. Hashtag Chicago Auto Show. You guys have direct flights from Salina to Chicago via United Airlines? Question mark?
Southwest, but yes, out of Kansas City.
Yes.
We have to go. Kansas City has direct flights to Chicago, not Wichita. I like to fly out of Wichita because it's only an hour and a half drive, but I knew Kansas City had direct flights. It would get us there quicker. So that's what we're flying out of.
Yeah.
And hey, BlueCruise all the way there, so it's all right.
All right. From Marine Vet, Thomas Ryan asks, is it true that dealers are also allocated for the constrained Bronco item? Heard secondhand that my dealer was allocated only 18 SAS.
Okay, so there was a letter that went out to dealers, and it gave them their projected allocations. Now that was I think a lot of people misunderstand that was actually for new orders coming out. And so it showed how many allocations you'll have for new orders and how many of each of the different constraint items of orders you should take. I mentioned that earlier. According to that, we have 58 allocations for new orders. That's not considering the ones because in fact, we've already been allocated for our leftover orders that are currently in the order bank right now. We have enough allocations to take care of all of the leftover orders. So this is for new orders. So I think that was misunderstood from a lot of dealers. So we actually, because we even reached out to our sales and inventory, and they said, no, that's for new orders once the order banks open up. And then the constraint items are how many you should take. So we could take up to 11 wild tracks out of the 58 according to their percentages. So trying to keep dealers within that structure because, again, the constraint's not going to change when they open back up. So
All right.
that helps out.
All right. Dennis F. says, is it true I heard you say last week Ford has still 7,022 Mavericks still to build, so no new 23 builds till next couple months?
No, not necessarily. What I had said was we were talking about those canceled orders.
Yeah.
So Ford had scheduled a bunch of 2022 model year orders that they couldn't build in 22. So they canceled those orders and they were trying to schedule those orders. And there were 7,000 of them that got canceled and are going to need to get rescheduled for 23s. And so it's saying based on the numbers of the hybrids and such, it'll probably take a couple months for those canceled orders to all get scheduled. So in a sense, yes, it's going to take a little while to get to those. For us, ours got scheduled on top of a bunch of other carryovers. We don't have that many. Probably after next month, we'll be ready for the next month to start working on new orders. So just depending on, we do have a rental company that we've worked with before that ordered a bunch. I don't know if they still want them. Hopefully they don't want them. We'll move those back and we'll start using those allocations for new orders at that point. Yeah. So we should be good to go there. And I think we'll have to find out about that. But
Yep. Alrighty. So from John Ashton, is it true that Ford has made a registered trademark for the Thunder with the Maverick?
Yep, just talked about it. He probably posted that before we talked about it.
Yeah. The 305 hauler. Any news on Maverick delays? I'm waiting on a non-rollover XLT trimmer. I added the cargo management system, spray and liner, moonroof, and rear sliding window.
Those are good.
Yep.
No, I wouldn't be too concerned. I mean, I still,
on trimmer.
On the trimmer because it's an EcoBoost and such. And so, yeah, you should be okay. Most of the trimmer people are new orders. There are some people that maybe had an EcoBoost order at the end that decided, hey, I want a trimmer, and those are the ones we've had scheduled, were those customers. But for new orders, we haven't had a lot of new trimmer orders scheduled. So we'll probably just be a matter of time. But none of those items are. I will say this, and I've kind of said this to my members in my lot walk, is most of the ones that we've had show up have not had spray and bed liners from the factory. So keep in mind, even though they're within capacity, the capacity is still 40%. That means when they schedule, 60% of them have to not have the spray and bed liner.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind as well. Me personally, I like the 60% number, but I also like to give business to my aftermarket department too. So
yeah. All right. So Vols44 says, XLT Lux vests you're both wearing are complete with the orange accent. So it's actually red.
Yeah.
But it looks orange.
Is it code red? No.
Yes.
It does look orange.
But on live, it looks orange. So.
Yes. It's orange. How's my battery going? Oh, I'm at 3. I can plug it in.
But yeah, if I flip it this way, it looks more red. If you kind of flip it up, it looks red. But it is red, but it does look orange on the live. So, yep. So on the live, they look like XLT Maverick Lux package, or Maverick.
Oh, the orange accents.
Yeah.
Yes. Jolie was like, what's with the orange accents?
Levo said that he would trade her the orange accents because he wants the orange for his trimmer.
Trade the black out for the. So that'd look cool. So Ford should think about that. They should, like on the trimmers, they should leave the orange accents on those.
So he's okay with switching her if she wants to do that. I've been meaning to ask.
Might be kind of hard to do the door handles though and the vents. So, but probably could happen.
The vents, I think, is the only
Levo
thing.
could figure it out.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Beth says, do you feel that most dealer allocations are for 22 rollovers and not new 23 orders?
You probably could answer that.
Yeah.
You want to answer that one?
Yes. So they're trying to get those 22 rollovers through right now, and then work on 23s later. The only problem is some dealers didn't prioritize the rollovers first, and so that's where you're seeing those new orders getting through before the rollovers.
Yes. So that would be the issue, is whether or not the dealerships did, handled their orders the way Ford says to. They say in there, use your priority 10s to 19s to structure your orders based on priority for those. So what we did, we prioritized our carryover orders, so they are the ones getting scheduled right now.
Yeah.
They deserve to get scheduled. They got carried over and they've been waiting, and then our new orders were prioritized later. So so it depends on the dealer. But if most dealerships use that structure, then they're
the
good.
other part of it is some of those dealers, because people have been complaining about those 23 the new ones getting through before their rollover. Well, some dealers didn't have 22 rollovers. They didn't take enough orders, or they didn't take orders at all to have rollovers, and so they do have new orders getting through. So, I understand the frustration of not having yours when new orders are getting through. But it really is up to how the dealer's prioritizing things and what their circumstances were going into the 23 orders.
And you also, within that too, you're going to have most of the people that had a carryover order were hybrids.
Yep.
So you are going to see some EcoBoost squeak in there probably.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Like a trimmer.
Yes, you could have a new EcoBoost
'Cause-
order get scheduled because they still need 65% to be EcoBoost, and if all their carryovers at their dealership happen to be hybrids, then they're going to have to probably use some of the allocations will get
Well, and they
selected for
said
that.
some of them are, they plan to do 8% trimmer. So you're seeing, trimmers get squeaked through ahead of some of those even EcoBoost because they want to get those trimmers out.
Yep.
So, all right. The 305 hauler says, do y'all have lifts for hybrid Maverick?
Yep, talked about that earlier as well. So we talked about Rough Country has a couple different options, even a full strut kit as well that can, they said, rival the Tremor suspension, which probably true. Again, for those that have a Tremor, you have a bunch of other things as well that go along in that with the look, the trail modes. Not the trail modes, but the rock crawl mode and those kind of things that you get with that you can't get with not just a suspension kit. So,
Yep.
All
right. Roy Pass says, will the Ford app provide towing info for current truck owners, or do you need to set up a new account?
Okay, so no. You can put your F-150 in there, and some of the information is in there. The information about the towing guide that going to Ford.com/towing is that you got to go into support and set up an account for your truck to manage some of that. That might be a different app, so I'm not sure. I didn't test it before the live stream. Didn't have time to look that over, but so I'm not sure on that. So.
Yep. All right. And then we mentioned this one, Dean the Dreamer, any new constraint balance percentages for Broncos. We went through that. The 305 hauler Packers. Shout out the Packers. All right, so now we're on to Peace Out with Paul. Does it appear that more Maverick hybrids are being produced? Does this mean that more hybrids will be produced than expected, or is the supply simply depleting early?
No, I think that we have seen a lot of our hybrids scheduled versus the EcoBoost, but early on we had a lot of EcoBoost scheduled for dates, and then I think the hybrids are being filled in. I don't know, how they're scheduling it, and really every region can be different. Like for us, they can look and say, hey, McArthur has a lot more hybrids than EcoBoost that are still priority, because they know if they see a dealership that has 10s, 11, 12s, and then they have 15s, And a lot of the 15s, they know that dealership is prioritizing those late early orders. So they're going to pull based on those priorities. And for us, they're saying hybrid for all those. So we had 23 all hybrid scheduled last week. And so it could be within our region. So, you know, a lot of times they'll say, I want to do a bunch of hybrids. We are seeing a lot of hybrids show up, but we had some EcoBoost show up at the beginning. So, don't know. I mean, it could be just, it depends on the region. So we could have dealers in Kansas City and such that have all EcoBoost orders. So I'm not sure how they're scheduling that out. So we'll know this next month, because next month, I mean, we'll see, because we do have the ones that we have left over that are priority 10, 11, 12. There are a lot of EcoBoost in there. Well, not a lot. It's about 30%, I think, are EcoBoost, and then the rest are hybrid. So we'll just have to see.
All right. Dean the Dreamer. If my dealer has 3 allocations for Bronco Wild Trucks, I am one of the only 3 orders left to get scheduled. Does that mean I will get built?
We would think so.
Yeah.
We would think so.
We think so.
So yes, I mean, think about it. I mean, let's say your dealership, you know, even if the percentage is 15%, and you have 3 wild trucks left at your dealership, right? 15% of your orders are scheduled will be wild trucks. So let's hope they get 1 a month, right? And so then within 3 months, you should get your schedule.
Yeah. All right.
But I hate to say that and you not take that, you know, make the changes and such. But I would think you would get scheduled within this model year. You may not get scheduled, you know, by the time that the change is made, but I don't see why you wouldn't within the year. And I said that to some of our other people. We have 6 wall tracks left, and I'm like, well, even if they did 1 a month, within 6 months we should get all of them scheduled. So, and then, you know, our new orders wouldn't, because they wouldn't be prioritized a 10 like we are with our other orders. So.
All right, Tim Johnson asked, have you found a place to meet for Chicago Auto Show? If there's a miracle, I'll drive my Maverick there. It's been shipped.
We haven't yet. We want to see how many people are coming first, and
So
see whether or not we can just meet at like a table in a restaurant. You know, if there's just a few of us, if there's a big crowd, if we need to, you know, rent like a conference room or something, then we need to kind of know that. So that's why we're saying, hey, if you want and plan on coming, then email Sarah at FordVideoGuy@gmail.com so that we can go ahead and kind of plan for how many we're going to see there.
Yeah, because if we can get a number, then we can definitely look for a specific place.
Yep.
Okay. Patrick W. says, hello, Tim and Sarah. Tim, please explain what the load bed option constraint for the Maverick is. And so we went over that one.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. Oh, no. They moved.
I kind of wish that they could see the questions, because, I mean, if people have the same question.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys. Someone dropped a question in and I lost my place. Here we go. Vols 44. And actually, I think I had messed up because I lost my place. And so I clicked on his and then went back up. So he didn't put it in twice.
Oh.
I just went back over it.
Oh, okay.
All right, so Vols 44, speaking of interior pics of future models, when do you expect to see the inside of the Mustang Dark Horse?
Hopefully next
soon.
week, right?
Hopefully.
Next week.
Yeah.
We hope. Hopefully at least the media gets a chance to be able to see inside of it and get some pictures and such.
Although when we went to Detroit, they had a trimmer Maverick there and they still had it locked up.
Yes, they did. Pre-production vehicle. So you never know. So we'll find out.
I think it depends on what pre-production vehicles they have there.
There are images out there, because they did have it open for people to see at the reveal, which we weren't
able to be at, or we weren't able to get down there.
We weren't media enough to get down there. So
yeah,
it's understandable. So
yeah.
All right. They said, "Law McArthur, no."
Okay, if I buy a used Bronco, is there a way to find the build? That would be
like the window sticker?
The window sticker. Yeah,
Yep.
The window sticker would have the exact build of what all is on there.
Yeah, a lot of dealers, if you give them the VIN number, they can actually pull it up I don't know though. I think some of the ones, if they're sold,
Well,
it's hard to do that.
except our used vehicles have their window stickers.
They do, but when they're sold, I can't just pull. I don't think I can put their VIN number into a thing and have it pulled up. So might be able to, but I think once they're only if they're available for sale that you can have that pull digitally. But I think that your dealer might be able to have a window sticker reprinted for you.
Yeah.
And you can check with the service store, and they can pull like they call an Oasis, and Oasis actually has all the different things that are on it. Yep. So,
all right. I can't remember what you said on the subject before. Will Law McArthur take Bronco pre-orders?
Yes, we are taking pre-orders. We do need to figure out where we're at. I think we're getting close to our max of that 58. We need to see where we're at on that.
Yeah.
So we
need to take stock.
Yeah, we need to kind of figure out from guys how many everybody has, so we know where we're at for sure right now. Because we don't want to take more than what we were able to do. Because worked out really well for Bronco, I think. Because we were going to get all of ours allocated this month, and we did that with Super Duty when Ford told us ahead of time. So it's nice getting the notice ahead of time. They didn't do that with Maverick, which is not. It's not a good situation for us because I think the production number will move up, but the number's less than what we have orders for. So,
because I know with Maverick, we had 300 pre-orders.
Yeah, we had more like 300 or 400 pre-orders.
Yeah.
And so they didn't let us know our number until after the order.
We just kept taking orders throughout those days.
They kept telling us, oh, we're going to give you your number, and then that was, oh, we'll do that Monday. Well, then they shut down the order banks. I mean, we already had 500, 600 orders put in the order bank before they told us a number, and then it wasn't even the right number. And then by the time they told us the right number, the order banks were closed. And it's like, well. There you go. So it didn't give anybody an opportunity to switch and go to another dealership because the order bank's already closed. So Ford kind of messed up on that.
And they even admitted we would have said, hey, you need to cancel your order with us. Go to your local dealer, place it with them so that you have a better chance.
And there are some people who put in multiple orders just for that reason.
Yes.
And I'm, you can't, I've kind of said in the past, I said, you should put in multiple orders, but I can't blame them.
No.
I mean, with what Ford did. So, and Ford even admitted in a dealer call that they messed up on that. They said that we messed up. We didn't give you your guys' number prior to the order banks opening up. They even changed the algorithm of how to figure that. Originally, it wasn't even going to be based on Maverick at all, just Bronco Sport, Ranger, and Escape. And I'm like, wait a minute, you can't do that. You can't take a dealership that sold 400 Mavericks in 2022 model year and give them, based on those models. I said, you've got to include Maverick. You had a year of Maverick sales. So they did update that and change that, and it wasn't because of me. It was because of the dealer council, I think. So luckily, I think they were almost catering to the Metro dealers. In my opinion, I said, that's not fair. You have the Metro dealers out there that just dropped the ball, weren't paying attention. When that was launched last year, they were clueless. They thought, oh, this will be like Bronco and F-150. It's going to be 6 months before we can start ordering. No, it was the next day. And we had like 160 orders in 1 month because we didn't drop the ball. We should be commended for that. We should be given extra allocations, which we did last year. And now this year we're being based on this because the Metro dealers want their orders. I'm sorry, they screwed up. They didn't do what they needed to do last year. They should, we should reap the benefit for being on the ball and doing what Ford said. And Ford, and the region actually is. The region said, hey, we know you guys did everything right and everything, so we're going to do what we can. So, but there's not much they can do.
Alrighty. Next question from Jose Edison. Hi, Tim and Sarah. Can you talk or make a video on break-in period? The language is unclear in the manual. Off topic, sorry. Maverick hybrid.
Right now there really isn't a break-in period. No. I mean, these engines used to be there was a break-in period, and such, but anymore there isn't.
Yeah, but they do kind of learn your style of driving as you drive them.
Yeah, for fuel economy and such like that, and for those gauges, but there is not really a break-in period anymore on those. I mean, so there used to be, but not anymore. Yeah. So.
All right, Kevin for Sambos. Does the Maverick hybrid 4-wheel drive have anywhere under the front to be towed or pulled out of stuck in snow? Any accessories to add to help if this is needed?
Yeah, because there aren't tow hooks on the front of those.
Yeah.
But I mean, you should be able to to mount into the frame. You should be able to attach to the frame under there. As long as you're on the frame and hooked to the frame, you should be okay. I don't know. You definitely don't want to be on the axle, of course, but you know, I'm not sure underneath there to be towed out. Hopefully you don't get yourself in a situation like that. But snow, you know, it snows. That happens. It can, yeah, that can be happen.
Yeah.
But
Just don't drive like a race car for the first 1,000. You'll be fine.
so Ragnar Cons did say majority of EcoBoost engines have $1,000 break-in period. Just don't drive it like a race car. Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of people, you know, pick it up here, drive it across the country, going normal. I mean, they're not like hot rodded or anything, and that kind of thing. You would just want to drive it. If you just drive it like normal, you shouldn't have any issues with it at all.
Yeah.
They're just saying don't drive it. Don't drive it hard for the first 1,000 miles. So, you know.
Okay. Is Ford going to have any financing specials in a month? Maverick is in transit. We don't know.
I don't.
It's up in the air.
I
Probably
don't.
not.
I don't see it happening.
Probably not.
So.
All right. Sandy Foster says, so does that mean when the order banks open for Broncos, you can't order a Heritage yet?
So you can't. No, people that had a carryover 22 order were able to order the Heritage, and we think we should be able to order Heritage when the order banks open up. So we're going to be told, I think, closer into March before the order banks open up, what the constraints are for each of the different trims. Probably Heritage, I'm sure, will be included in that, saying yes, we can do some Heritage, but because it's standard Sasquatch, it'll probably be like the Raptor in that sense. But keep in mind there is a difference between those because, like, or I mean, not the Raptor, the the Wildtrak. So difference is the Wildtrak has a certain wheel, and that wheel and tire is what's constrained. So the Heritage has a different wheel, right? It's the white and such, and so that's a totally different wheel, as well as the hardtop is a different hardtop. So it's not the molded in hardtop, it's a painted hardtop. So it's going to be a different one. So because of that, it's not as constrained probably as you might think, just because it's Sasquatch. But the Sasquatch makes a difference in that, because the biggest deal on the Sasquatch is the wheel, not the suspension, the Haas 2.0 and such.
Yep.
So.
All right.
We done?
No. Jeff Day Milkman. Maverick Hybrid Lariat order on 9/16/22. Priority code 19 has trailer hitch add-on. How would be the below impact scheduling? Removing hitch or adding the spray and bed liner? Tie down combo. Change my color.
All right.
So my question I always ask when looking to remove the hitch, do you plan to tow? What is your intent with the hitch? If you are planning to just put a bike rack on it, you probably could add an aftermarket hitch, but if you plan to tow, you need the wiring, and so you should get it done at factory because that wiring cannot be done through aftermarket responsibly.
And it might be by then. We don't know.
It might be. We don't know.
I mean, but
that's always my first question is what do you plan to do with it?
But you have ordered 916, which is a good thing.
Yes.
Priority 19, depending, again, if the dealer puts all their new orders in as priority 19, then it's not, you don't have any disadvantage or advantage to it. So you might ask if all the new orders are put as 19, because it might have been a mishap because the default is 19. So let's say, like for us, we prioritized all of our new orders as 15s, but let's say the person that put in an order, just tabbed through the priority to the rest of it and forgot to put it as a 15, then it will be at the back, right? Because it will be looked at after the 15. So you might ask your dealer, hey, just checking, are all the new orders put in as priority 19s, or was mine forgotten to put down? Just kind of curious. Just want to know. And if they find out that they're all at 19s, okay, no harm, no foul. And then the rest of this is, if you, like she said, if you plan to just use as a bike rack, I would put that on later. But if you do need to tow with it,
He
then
says he'd like to tow.
Okay. And then the spray and bed liner tie down combo, that's still within capacity. So you can go ahead and add it. Again, I still am of the belief I'd rather be in the 60% side than the 40% side. That being that you have a 916 order, if you're one of the first, that's the first day they opened up. It just may be a matter of them getting through their 22 orders, and then they'll start looking at yours. And changing color is not a big deal at all. You can make that change.
So, Jeff, you asked about the dealer hitch add-on. Spexinator did say it's only $500, but at this time, they don't have the wiring to go with it. So if you're towing a trailer that doesn't use the turning signals, doesn't have lights, you would be okay. Or doesn't have the brakes, because I had a pop-up camper that didn't have the brakes that for the needed. So, I mean, if you have something like that, you'd be okay. But if you're towing something that needs the lights, needs the brakes, needs, the wire attachments, it's better to have it done at factory.
Unless something's changed that we're not aware of. But
Yeah.
the last that we heard from aftermarket and such was that the wiring is still throwing electrical problems and issues. I mean, Ford does have a wiring guide for 22, but when they tried using it, it wasn't working. I haven't checked with service to find out if it's been updated and changed, if this is a more updated version. But that is something I need to work on and getting, because we do have an installation guide for the wiring here. But when you look at the pictures, they're actually for Bronco Sport, not a Maverick.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's the thing is, we're big for our aftermarket and service. We're big under warranty coverage. So we hate to do something to a vehicle that cannot be covered under warranty. And so if our customer says, no, I want it, we have, we have you fill out a disclaimer and everything that says, and you're aware that this is not going to be covered under any kind of warranty. One of the reasons why we use Rouse superchargers instead of Whipple is for that reason. So anyway.
All right. James Malone asks, is there a probability of Maverick 2024 being a plug-in hybrid and all-wheel drive?
We hope so. We know that we've been seeing some spy photos of those been tested out in Michigan or somewhere. Actually, I think in Mexico. But we just we don't know.
Yeah.
They're not going to release any information yet.
Until
We'll
they're
see what we
ready.
can get from them at Chicago, but sometimes you can ask a question and you can read body language and try to figure things out. So we'll ask the questions at Chicago, because usually as getting media passes, we'll be able to talk to the people that are there, and kind of ask them questions and such. I will say, the when we went to Detroit, the people that are there actually knew more than they did. So, because we had a Maverick, and I'm like, you might want to fix that because that's not right. And
Yeah.
Oh, it was a Bronco Sport, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was
I
the
was like,
Bronco Sport.
I'm like, you need to switch this information out. What are you talking about? I was like, that's for Heritage Limited. This is not a Heritage Limited. That's a Heritage. Oh, okay. And then they switched it out. I helped them figure things out. So we'll just see. I really need to
They were switching them out, in fact, before that. And he was like, oh, it's because of this, right? And they're like, yeah.
And
Yeah.
they had switched out a trimmer.
Yes.
And I said, well, what's different about it? And I actually pointed out what was different. And they're like, wow, you caught that on all that stuff? And I'm like, yeah.
He looks at them all day long.
I'm like, yep, I got it. But so we'll just see. So hopefully, if the brand manager's there, those are the people that we need to. They need to
Connect with
You need to
and-
say Ford brand manager or Maverick brand manager on your badges so we can find you. And we'll ask
That's why
those
they don't
people.
put it on there.
Probably.
Because they don't want us to find them.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna find all the brand managers. I'm gonna find them on Facebook, stalk them. I'll find what they look like.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, meet Jim Farley. Yeah, we'll see. We actually walked right by Jim Farley at
We did.
Detroit.
At Detroit. Yep. He was talking to people and we just,
Yeah, we were talking to people.
yeah.
Oh.
All right.
I think I'm more interested in meeting and talking to Mike Levine than I am, just because he's head of marketing for Ford. So him, and
Yeah.
there's some others as well that I follow on Twitter.
Yeah. All right, next one. RagnarCon. Did Ford mention anything about doing a launch program for the new generation Ranger, or business as usual?
Well, I think because they already did a launch they did a big reveal, if you guys remember last year, because a lot of people thought that was a version that was coming into 23, but it was only in Europe. So Australia did a launch, and that model for the most part is the same as what we're getting, with the difference in the motor. So I don't think they're going to do a big launch, although I looked at the Chicago Auto Show and they did not list the 24 Ranger as being on display there. So I'm hopefully it's a nice surprise. So we'll see.
All right.
I don't know.
Does Ford corporate tell Ford dealers which Maverick option equipment are needed for fill-in unit production?
No, they do not. Sometimes though they will, like we talked about on like the expedition said, cleanup, scheduling, and we had all those lists of not scheduling, not scheduling, not scheduling. That was a kind of a telling the dealers like extended length not available, mahogany seats not available, 202A, 301A not available. That's their way of letting you know, hey, here's what we need to look at. So
Yes. All right. How do you get your Maverick out of deep sleep?
start it.
Yeah, I
Jump
don't
it
know.
or start it, probably. I mean, usually, and I don't know if people are talking about deep sleep in the app, like that they can't start it from their app,
See, and I
or
wasn't
if the
able-
vehicle's in deep sleep.
So I wasn't able to start my vehicle for a few months from my app, and then now I can. So I don't know if that was deep sleep, what they're talking about, but I don't know. But it's happening with the hybrids, and it doesn't just
well,
Fusion go
you know,
into deep sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, our Fusion's sitting there dead right now. I mean,
Yeah.
and then we jump it, and then if we let it run for a while,
Yeah.
then my Bronco, I wasn't driving it regularly. I wasn't driving it every week, and so it went into deep sleep, and then eventually it went to where I had to jump it to start it. So
Yeah.
so I wasn't able to start it with the app or even with my remote start, but if I went out there, I could start it. And then, but if I didn't, I left it long enough, then eventually it would go into deep sleep, and then I wouldn't be able to start it. So probably because of the extreme cold with the hybrids, I would assume that's why.
Yeah.
But if
Well, but people
in
have said it's happening in Florida, Arizona.
I don't know. Again, are they driving it every day, or are they driving it?
Well, some of
Not
the
saying
people
all Florida people are
driving
old, are
not
retired,
driving it
but but I don't know. So,
Yeah.
but
we'll have to do some looking
but
into
Ridgeview,
it.
I think, even said that his has gone into deep sleep. I think.
Yeah.
So
Specsinator said his did.
okay.
There was someone else that did that is in Florida.
All right. Well, we'll do
So,
some research.
yeah.
We'll see if we can find out. It
Might need to do some deep digging on
Well,
the forums.
one of the things is that's difficult for us on the Maverick is that we don't have in stock vehicles to deal with this on because
Yeah.
they're sold.
Yeah.
And all the
And-
vehicles come in are sold, and so
and
they're not in deep sleep.
just-
I can't. And service is real big. We'll have a lot of people. We'll go into service and say, "Well, we couldn't get it to do it." So and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, they didn't fix it. Well, if you can't get it to do it for them, they don't know what's wrong to fix
Well, and
it.
our other thing is
So
all of the people here that own Mavericks, they're all EcoBoost. None
Yeah,
of them
a lot
have
of-
hybrids.
a
So we'll
lot
have
of
to
them
see
are.
if Jolie's does it.
yeah, well, I'll keep mine and ask hers. So
Yeah.
anyway.
All right, Marine Vet says, back to the heated steering wheel. Is it possible to order the heated steering wheel from the parts department so I can retrofit it to my Bronco? It's real cold here in northern Colorado. I think Niles had said that you can't get it.
Can't do aftermarket,
You
but
can't
whether
do
you can
aftermarket.
order the part and have it.
Retrofitted? Because,
I think
those parts
you-
do break.
Well, yeah, but I if the wiring, if
Isn't
if
there.
it's not the package that would normally get it, the wiring may not be there. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure people have done it. I know I've seen people on because they wanted the cruise control on the Maverick last year on the XL. We're adding the Escape steering wheel to it, so there's a possibility it can be done.
So,
Probably wouldn't recommend it for warranty claims, but that is something you'd have to talk to them about. A lot of times when you go to parts departments, they're looking for your VIN number and matching up parts for your VIN number. So you'd have to say, well, I have one like this for you to be able to do it. But
yeah.
yeah.
All right. Austin Burgess says, hey, Tim and Sarah, a few weeks ago, you discussed BlueCruise 1.2. I can confirm our 23 Mach-E does have those features, and the lane change assist works great.
Oh, awesome. Good.
Woohoo.
All right. John B, have a good night.
A lot of people
Anybody
are
know how the KU
headed
game's
out.
going?
Maybe heated gloves. I've tried heated gloves, Zoom Zoom Junior, but you have to have them plugged in the entire time or plugged into a heat pack like our vests. So, I mean, if you want wires,
Climate control towards the steering wheel. I'm saying it works on my Bronco. I do it all the
I
time.
used to do that with my van.
Because I'm used to getting a heated steering wheel on the truck, and so I get in the Bronco and went, oh, heated steering wheel.
All right. Joe Padilla says, my Maverick XLT hybrid arrived on 1/27/23. I picked it up yesterday, carbonized gray, 360 hitch, 400-watt inverter, rear console, drop-in hard bed liner took 4 months plus to receive. Congrats.
Good job there. So,
Have we received any 23 escapes yet?
no, not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Do we have any even? Here, let's look and see if we
Do
have
we have
any.
any on order? I know we have some on the
See,
order.
I don't track those as closely as I do the Broncos and the.
It's on the back burner.
Hey, we got some preview this week.
KU 10 ahead, 3 minutes to go.
All right, let's see here. We got some that are scheduled to the week and some that are sent to plant. So we don't have any. Well, actually, they drop off of here once they are in transit. So, oh, you know what? We could go to VenView. Keep asking questions. I'll see if I can figure that out.
All right. I like the price of the XL and have a day one order, but I keep debating if getting an XLT will help me get my order sooner. What were the percents again for XL versus XLT?
We know XL is 15%. XLT is closer to 50%. But I will say this, where you're sitting, I wouldn't change. If you're a day one XL order, if you change to XLT, the date is going to change. I still think that'll reflect, unless your dealership prioritize your order, it'll still be affected. So I would, if I were you, I would leave it.
Yes. All right.
And they may not be scheduling a lot of XLs right now, but they will. So I would hold off if I were you.
Okay. My carryover Mav Hybrid XLT Lux 360 has been in production since 1/12/23. Does it take that long to build?
You want to talk about the status of it in production?
Yes, the in production status can be a wide range of places. It can be, waiting to go on the assembly line. It can be right after the assembly line, but basically it stays in production until it is released and ready to be put on the rail. So they might be waiting to test drive it. They might be waiting to release it. There's just a whole lot of in production is just one big
So once it gets sent to the plant, so that's usually about a week, 10 days before. That's the in production status.
Yeah.
So then, really, if you can get a build date, then go off of that and go, okay, well, it's supposed to be built today, right, on the 31st. It might go in production on the 20th because it's being sent to plant ahead of time so they can make sure the parts are available. So that's your in production time. So then, if the date you want to go off of is find out when that. A lot of times when your vehicle gets scheduled, you get a schedule to the week. But at some point, you get a schedule to the day if you talk to your dealer. And if you know that date, then, a lot of times yours will actually say it's been built. So just wait for that. But that in production status can take 2-3 weeks just for the fact that of the process. So that there's 4 statuses. There's an order processing, in production, in transit, delivered. So, and it doesn't go to in transit until it's actually, shipped out and released from the plant. So I did look up on VenVisibility, VenView, which is new for us. And I can say that there is one on the road that's been produced to released forecast. So it's getting close to being released. So within 4 weeks, we should see a 23 Escape. There's a retail one ordered for somebody. So I don't know.
Trim line.
I don't know the VIN codes that well, but I think it's an all-wheel drive, maybe. I don't know. UNJ, I think.
U9J.
Or U9J. So I think that's all-wheel drive, but I don't know the body codes because I think O is front-wheel drive. Anyway, I don't know the body codes that well on those. But it does look like one should be here. Do we have an ETA?
It's over there.
ETA is 2. Well, it says 2-3, but that's not happening.
No.
Because it's still in Kentucky.
Louisville.
So that's 2-3 is not happening. But anyway, so probably here in mid, but we're going to see one at the auto show. So, but anyway, we need a Corsair because we got somebody that wants to know what the buttons are. We'll get one eventually. Anyway.
So Ragnar Khan says the Bronco steering wheel retrofit would need the new steering wheel, need a new SCCM, and HVAC modules. It'll be a $2,000 retrofit due to the module replacement. A pair of gloves would be way cheaper.
Wow. The vents. I'm sorry. It works for me.
I love it. I love how he does.
Just the vents. Angle the vents in. That's all you gotta do.
All right.
I mean, on the Bronco, it's the way those vents are, it's perfectly
Yeah.
positioned. Now, on a truck, some other vehicles that may not work very well, but on the Bronco, they are, for the driver, they are perfectly positioned. In fact, they're not actually angled
Yeah.
in. They're actually straight, but because the vent is right kind of behind the right hand and the other vent's over there, I mean, it's just like I could just go like this and heat my hand. It's right there off the steering wheel.
All right, Jeff Man says, I hope you can get pictures or video of the 24 Ranger in Chicago. So do we.
Cross our fingers.
Charlie says, when can I see what Cinnabar Red looks like?
Cinnabar looks
Red.
like.
What's that on?
It's on the Escape, I
Oh,
believe.
okay. Maybe we'll see one in Chicago.
Yeah.
Because we saw, what was it? At,
The website's never 100%
was it
accurate.
Vapor Blue?
Yeah, it was Vapor
We
Blue.
saw Vapor Blue in,
Hopefully lighting will be better this time because
Yeah.
the video was a little off.
although at Detroit, Ford had so many lights and blue and stuff going on, it kind of distorted colors a little bit on some of those angles.
In person, you could see how good it looked.
Oh, man.
But
Vapor blue.
cameras, anytime there's a blue with a camera, it messes it up. We've always struggled with blue cars in our lights, so
Blue interiors?
blue interiors.
No blue interiors.
No,
No.
no.
I
All right,
mean, it looks nice, but it's hard to picture.
next question.
All right, Kimmet 05. I have an XLT order with LMF, no spray in, only Copilot 360 added. Would you say earliest I could take delivery wouldn't be till early summer? Just trying to get an idea.
A lot of okay. Order with trimmer XLT with Long McArthur Ford. That's pretty low. Okay, so if you would take that 8% number, let's get a calculator.
Okay.
The real answer is I don't know, but let's say if we get let's just say we get 20 a month, which I think we'll get more than 20 a month, right? Times 0.08. That means we should get 1.6 trimmers a month, and we have about 30 left.
Yeah. I was telling
I don't know.
Lebo, we
It's
only
hard to
had
tell.
so many.
Yeah, it's not that many, so it's just hard to tell. But I don't know. We should get more than 20 a month.
Yeah.
So maybe 2 a month get scheduled. So it could take. Oh, at that rate, it says 15 months, so that would be right. So it's
We're
hard to
getting
tell,
close.
but we are getting quite a few of those have been scheduled, and we'll start seeing more scheduled. We've been actually having about 1 to 2 a month, or about 2 a month get scheduled,
Yeah.
and actually more than that early. So we only had 42 tremors. So and keep in mind, EcoBoost, once they need more EcoBoost orders, they're going to start taking those tremors. So
Yeah.
I mean, I would say maybe this summer. I mean,
Yeah.
be a good guess, but
We have 6 questions left.
all right.
Hey, now for my non-rollover 23 trimmer order, did I get rate locked when I got my order confirmed, or was that only for 22s? So when
Okay.
he got his order confirmed, was he rate locked?
Okay, typically yes, but there were no special rates on the Maverick in September.
That's right.
So you basically, when you order, the dealer has an option to choose the rate from when you ordered, or and incentives when you ordered, or when it comes in. So one or the other. So you get to pick. You can actually decide and see what looks best. I will tell you, in September there were no special rates on the Maverick, so there is no rate lock back then. So
Okay.
hopefully there are some good rates when it comes in instead.
right.
So that would be the way to go. Yeah, there pretty much wasn't anything on the Maverick when you ordered.
Yeah.
They knew that there would be so many people wanting to get them that they didn't have to.
Yeah. All right. So Zoom Zoom Jr. said, "Do you think Ford has stopped previewing your orders on Tuesday because of this live stream?"
You know what? I wouldn't be able to pass the brand manager, because the brand manager does know what we were doing over here and knows we're on top of this. So
Yeah.
they didn't preview Tuesday or Wednesday, and then boom, they scheduled. So I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, we don't see many of them preview anymore.
Although I don't know if the brand manager has much to.
Yeah.
Well, or maybe, I don't know.
All right, ML Culpepper says all of our families, Fords, including Ego, Hybrid, and even the Heritage Shelby GT500, into what the Ford Pass calls deep sleep. If they haven't been used for as little as 3 days, no jump needed. So that's interesting. Okay. So it's not just Mavericks. It's not just hybrids. It's all of them. So it sounds like it's Ford's way of, making sure the battery's not going to get run down.
Yes, and it'll go into
Yeah.
like I've seen sometimes where the screen will say, battery low, and so it won't have the screen or whatever. But then once you run it for a little while or put it on a charger for a little bit, then it can fix that. So
Yep. All right.
usually it's a battery. Usually it's a little battery issue. But we'll see.
Nicholas Gregg says, I ordered a 23 Expedition Limited on 1/3/23 and haven't gotten any emails since the first confirmation. How long should I expect to be waiting until it's built? Well, if you're like Tim, 6 months?
Yeah. But right now it should be okay. Final score KU90, K-State 878. Yes.
Woohoo!
Redemption. Anyway. So looks like Michael McArthur's gonna be driving a little minivan. Anyway,
I get pictures.
we always general manager and the
Other managers.
the sales manager. They always have a bet. Whoever wins gets to choose the vehicle. The other person gets to drive for a week. So
He drove a minivan last time.
Derek had to drive a minivan for a while, and before that, it was a lifted up Super Duty that was really tall and everything. Anyway, what was I talking about? I don't know. I don't know what I was talking about now.
We were talking about...
All right, tell us what we're talking about. Rewind it 2 seconds.
Oh, Expedition.
Expedition, yes. Okay. Expeditions are going pretty well, especially if you have a retail order. Again, dealership does need to have allocations to schedule your order. I'd look for maybe next week of being scheduled. That would be my take. Yeah. Now, again, if you have an Expedition based on certain things, maybe you can put in there what your order is, and we can look at the constraints and see if there's something we can do to your order to make it to help it get scheduled. So let me know your build. Let's go ahead, and that might be fun since we're getting almost done with questions.
Yeah.
Put your build in there if you're still in the group, and we can
Nicholas Gregg.
see that.
Yeah. JK says, I got the email saying, 1 second, moved. Saying my Maverick EcoBoost is scheduled for production in March, but want to change the color. Is this possible and will affect the schedule date or priority code?
Once you're scheduled, priority code does not matter at all. Period. The priority code is so that they can schedule based on your priority code. So once it's scheduled, priority code doesn't mean anything. But you should be able to change the color. If you were scheduled like last week, now's the time you could probably go ahead and make the change on that color. Your dealership, some dealerships like, nope, we can't make changes. It's scheduled. It is what it is. Technically, you can. Color is the easiest change that they'll accept. So you can go in there and make that color change now. You'd want to do it sooner than later because as you get closer, then they will not allow you to amend the order. So as long as it's amendable order, they will let you do that. What they'll do is once you make the change, it'll say the order is being looked at for amendment, and then the next day you can go in there and find out whether or not they accepted that amendment. So, but I've never seen a color not been available to be updated, even the cost colors.
Yeah.
So.
Jeff Mann says, I'm not into minivans. Sorry, Sarah. Well, I'm not into them either. The only thing I like are the sliding doors. That's the only reason I would get a minivan. I actually have a Maverick, so.
All right, Nicholas said it was a 23 Expedition, regular length, that's good. 4x4, infinite blue, also very good. 301A and tow package was added. So I assume the heavy duty trailer tow package, because the tow prep kit package is already standard. 301A though might not be a good thing. So this week it says 301A is not available for scheduling this week. So we'll see how that changes next week. It does say extended link not available either. That's okay. Heavy duty trailer tow package might be something you might have to add to your order. Otherwise, looks good other than that. But 301A is not being selected for scheduling this week. So we'll look and see what it looks like next week. Hopefully you come back and check each week so we can kind of keep you updated on that. And we'll kind of keep remembering your order and seeing what happens. But probably won't get selected this week based on the fact that it's a 301A and they're not scheduling those this week. So it could change. I have seen them change. I have them see. I saw them 1 week on the Maverick say that they're only scheduling hybrids this week, and we had all of our EcoBoost scheduled. So things could change in a couple days. So there is a possibility still this week, but according to what their notes are, they say not available this week. So we'll just have to keep looking at that. And they are trying to fill holes for it's called cleanup scheduling for this week. So next week might be a good week for you to look and see if it gets selected. So probably more likely happen next week or the week after.
All right. When will 23 Super Duty production start?
It's already started. Let's look and see how ours are looking.
All right. Alan said, what I was getting at earlier was the Atlas Blue Mav you guys sold over the weekend. I would have taken it if I could have worked a deal. So, Alan, you might be happy to know is that Tim, one of our other members, was actually able to get it. So, but if you see one that you like, definitely let us know as soon as you see it. So that way we can try and get you in on one if you really want one in that color. But it did go to another member, so I was happy to hear about that.
They locked me out of InView.
They locked you out. They know what you're doing.
Probably.
They're watching the live stream. They're like, we gotta lock them out right now.
There you go. I'm not showing the screen. All right, so I'm gonna look and see if I can look up Super Duty, because somebody said production on Super Duty. I'm just gonna look and see if we have any that have already been produced. I do know that there are 23s that are sitting at the raceway. I think they said there, the racetrack there, right? Didn't All Train Nation say that? Because he's down there.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Sarah Moore said, my dealer said my Mav arrived yesterday, but they shut down right afterwards because of the weather. According to tracking, it's still in shipping. When will it update? It may not update.
Your tracking could be, not updated. Yeah. I have actually seen people get the email that it showed up here before I got notification on the bill of lading that it showed up here. Yeah. So it really just depends. I'm not seeing.
Well, and we had one that got delivered to the dropship dealer, and we didn't know it was still telling us it was in Mexico. So, I mean, the tracking can be spotty. It can vary from time to time. It's, we use the tracking, we kind of rely on it, but at the same time, sometimes it can be unpredictable and inaccurate. So, but if your dealer says it's there, woohoo, congratulations. Hope your weather clears up so you can go get it.
Trying to look for Super Duties, 23s.
305 Holler says, do you happen to remember what 36-month rate was back in September?
For Maverick, there wasn't one.
Yeah, for Maverick, there wasn't one. Depends on what the model is, which vehicle.
Okay, we got some Super Duties that are built.
Woohoo! Produced.
They're still all sitting in Kentucky, though. Shelbyville. Ooh, mine set at Shelbyville for 4 months. When I see Shelbyville, Kentucky, at some point I want to drive through there and go, shame on you, shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, none of them, they're all still in Kentucky. So none of ours have been, there are 2 pages though. Let's look at page 2.
Jeff, man, yeah, we know he's being watched too. Yeah.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
Heavily watched.
5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
8, 9,
no,
10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 that are built.
Yeah.
Super Duties. So yes, they are building Super Duty. Doesn't look like they're shipping them out though yet. None of ours have shipped out. So, yep.
No.
They do have ETAs of late February, middle February for this one. Middle February. So a couple of weeks we should start seeing them on a lot. And these are all retail orders though. So.
Sorry, David. His question did not get answered. What are the optional wheels on the Bronco, the 35 or the 33 with the bed lock rims?
The bead lock. Let's look here.
Hantom Rec, when is ordering beginning for the 24 Mustang? We are not sure yet.
Yeah,
we haven't heard anything.
Hopefully we can find out next week at the latest.
Yep.
All right, let me go back
to... Go press some of these trainers.
Bronco. I have to remember...
Reps. Go press them for information.
It's been a while since I did the video on this, but the Badlands with the optional wheel.
The optional 1,000 wheels you used to be able to buy on Badlands. 33-inch.
Ragnacon probably would.
Yep, that's who it was. Ragnacon, 33-inch.
He probably answered that better than I can. Not quicker. Anyway. There you go. So the standard wheel is the 17-inch carbonized gray wheel. So the optional wheel, I think, is the steel wheel, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
That's a pretty cool wheel
yep.
too.
Someone said, okay, awesome. When do you expect to receive your first 23 Super Duties? It's unsure at this
Well,
time. They say
ETA is mid to late February. So.
okay, so sometime in the next month or so.
Yep. We got a bunch sitting in Kentucky, Shelbyville.
Jeff, man, I do like vans, but only if it's, everything's automated. So my van was a Transit Connect that was a titanium, but it didn't have the automatic sliding doors. The tailgate was not automatic. It just, I preferred to have a Maverick with the truck bed. And the other part about the Transit Connect is it is huge and it's like a wind sail. So when you're on the highway, you're waving back and forth. It's not fun to drive it. So I preferred to have a truck that was sturdy. It feels compact, sturdy on the road, and I'm not going to just blow away.
Yep.
So with kids, it was my way to go.
Yep.
So.
All right. Okay.
So no
Got
more
all the questions? Let's close that sucker down.
Okay. Closing it down.
23-inch tires, not wheels, yes.
Yes.
So 17-inch, I think carbonized gray is the standard wheel. So that's what they're able to get. The optional steel wheel is not available. Well, won't get selected for scheduling this week. So
All right.
yeah, keep that in mind. So we got that same kind of report on the F-150 Raptor.
Yeah.
They said the standard wheel, but so we have 5 allocations for Raptors.
Yep.
So had to be in by today though, I think so. Anyway, all right.
I think everyone's saying good night.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Don't forget, if you want to re-listen to the podcast, you can find that over on your favorite podcasting platform and such. And appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Don't forget, before you leave, smash that like button for me. I'd appreciate it. It really helps out. Practicon says, anyone bite on the Rattlers with the sport packages? I want it, but I don't doubt if we give you $10,000 for a Focus trade-in. Yeah, you never know. Focus ST, Focus RS. Just kidding.
Yeah.
We haven't. I don't know. I think we still have a couple, but we keep making more of those packages.
Yeah.
So, and we're gonna do a video soon on that package and what we do to it. Looks pretty cool. So we body colored those bumpers and lift and level kit and such. Just makes it like a better stance to it and everything. So it's a pretty cool truck. But I don't think we sold the 2. We do have those marked off pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty cool package. You get that XL with the Rattler package. That is their. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, almost gives it a look when we add the body colored bumpers and such. Other than that grill, man, that looks kind of like a trimmer. And the off-road capabilities you get with the rock crawl mode and some other things. That is a pretty cool truck for under, what is it, close to 55 or maybe even less. That's a pretty cool truck for that price. And the off-road capabilities you get with it, that's not a bad little package. And we have a bunch of those now. We've actually received like 4 more within the last week. So we'll be putting more of those packages together. It takes a little longer because we got to, paint the bumpers and such to put that special package that we add to it. But otherwise, pretty cool truck. But yeah. All right. Otherwise, everybody's saying good night. So thank you again.
Baby boys.
Yep. And so thank you guys again. Don't forget, we'll be live next week. And then after that, we'll be heading to the Chicago Auto Show. And I'll be live Thursday night on Facebook. But hopefully you guys have a great night. And happy February 1st tomorrow. New month. Other than that, I think that's all we got, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, don't forget, stay positive, be kind to one another.
And be kind to yourselves.
We'll see you later. Bye.